should be live in real time. I hope so. Yeah, it'll be live on this thing. I don't know. What's up, everybody? Welcome to this edition of RCade. Yes, it's back in effect. Yeah, it's been a wonderful week here at LagSpike. So, but hey, we're back. So, we've got some people here that we haven't seen for a long time. We've got Cosmic. What is up, Cosmic?
Oh my god!
And
Mashed
also,
potatoes!
we got Dave, Nebraska Dave. What's up, Dave?
Yeah, get my boomerang fish act that we can all show.
Wow. And we've got the notorious Mosh. What is going on?
I'm going good. Eating some chicken pre-pre whilst I'm shooting out on the...
Did you just say chicken pee-pee?
Chicken pre-pre.
Oh,
Homemade
okay.
chicken pre-pre.
I thought you said
Not chicken
chicken
pee-pee.
pee-pee.
There's no pee-pee. I don't know where you get the pee-pee
Okay.
from pre-pre.
I don't know. I don't know what you're doing on that end, but whatever you gotta do, you gotta
do what
do.
you
Whatever
do,
whatever
player.
trips your trigger, bud.
Whatever trips your trick.
I was about to say, hey, if you've
Hey,
got
some people like a
pee-pee,
pee-pee.
pre-pee, whatever. Whatever. So, guys, if you're new to RCade, RCade is your weekly video game news roundtable where we take the news, we dissect it apart, and you get what you get. So, what we like to do is we like to kick RCade off with two trailers of the night. The first trailer is going to be a trailer from Watch Dogs, which is a game that I've been waiting for a long time. If you remember the E3 coverage, I got about jizzed in my pants because I saw this trailer. So it's a brand new trailer. So we'll go ahead and watch that now. If that matters or not.
Pierce has been identified as the man responsible for all attacks. CTOS Threat Monitoring Report number 193A. Subject, Aiden Pierce. On October 26, 2012, at 16:30 Central Time,
And,
CTOS Network
you can
Security
control all
detected
that
multiple
stuff.
breaches
Dude,
in our
it looks
system.
phenomenal.
This was a level 3
Cannot
network
wait
intrusion.
for it.
On-site
Cannot wait for
surveillance
it.
cameras
That
and
was like, what,
first-hand
E3
eyewitness confirmed
last
Aiden
year?
Pierce
Wasn't
at
it
the site of the
revealed then?
intrusion.
Yeah, it was last year.
We
Yeah.
now
Oh, yeah.
have solid confirmation
had
that
a
Pierce can breach the
huge
CTOS
freaking,
populist
response
database
to the-
at will.
the footage, too.
This grants him access to names, salaries,
yeah.
occupations, and countless clusters of private
Yeah,
information.
I definitely cannot
Attempts
wait
to track
see
and
how
block
this
his
thing plays
access
out.
points have proven unsuccessful. The illegal hacks used
That's
by
gonna be
Pierce
pretty
give him access to
interesting.
secure banking accounts. In this case,
It's
he
like,
uses private account information
it's
to
like
withdraw stolen funds from a
in one
nearby
sense, it's
ATM.
like the Matrix, you know.
Moments
where you're
later, we
accessing
detected a new intrusion
computer
from an
files and
unknown
stuff like
party.
that that's behind
It
the
appears
scenes
we are not the
secretly running
only
things,
people
and you're able
tracking
to,
and
like I
monitoring
say, walk up
Pierce.
to a person, facial
Make note of this
recognition,
as we'll come back
this
to
is
it
what
later.
this guy's background is. It's like you're getting
Starting at
all this stuff
16:32
like the
Central
Matrix.
Time, a series
Right,
of
and that's what it
escalating
kind of
events.
reminds me of is
Pierce
like the
accesses
Matrix
data on
meets,
Sandy Higgins, a
Grand
teacher
Theft
with a
Auto
restraining order
meets,
against her ex-husband, Bobby Sawicki.
DSX, a little
The
bit, where you're hacking
CTOS
stuff
crime
in that
prevention
also,
system
but
flags
not so
Higgins
much
as a
Cyberpunk
potential victim.
and
Upon
DSX, but it's
receiving
like
the
the same near
CTOS
future.
notification of
But,
an imminent
dude,
crime,
I am-
Pierce decides to follow
I
Miss
like the fact that
Higgins.
you walk by and it
This
kinda
course of
like
action
you
was
can
noted
go
by a
and look at
criminologist and
people's
will be
cell
added
phones
to his
and be like,
upcoming
oh,
psych
what are
report.
they talking about?
Swear I
And
will.
kind
I'm not
of
gonna
clip
let you get
into
away
it and listen to their
Don't touch
conversations.
me, I'm warning
There
you.
might be
Here we
something,
see
you know,
Pierce intervene,
worthy
saving
of using,
Higgins.
you know, using the security
When the
cameras,
attacker
all that
flees,
stuff.
the CTOS
It's
crime
gonna be
prevention
very
system
interesting.
prompts Pierce to capture
Anybody
her
else talk to
attacker.
this game?
It should be noted that this indicator is part
I
of
mean,
a
it
beta
looks
system intended
interesting.
for
I mean, it
Chicago
definitely interests me, but
PD. We
it's
don't
even
know
one of the
how
things
Pierce
I don't
gained
really
access to
play
this, but it's clear this breach
to
goes
actually
far
see
deeper than
if
we
I
ever
like
imagined.
the play style of it or not.
Next is a
It'll
hack
be,
we were
I
completely
mean,
unaware
the
of.
idea
Pierce
is
somehow
good.
overloads an
I
electrical
mean,
fuse box.
Definitely
The
interesting
implications of
idea,
this are
but it's just
obvious,
the
but what happens
execution of
next
the
is
gameplay
even worse.
Pretty much what's going to come down to for me.
Yeah, I like
Chicago
the,
PD responds to the disturbance, but Pierce eludes the officers by using our system against them.
No.
When a CTOS hack isn't immediately available, Pierce does not hesitate to use more conventional tools. Our image recognition systems confirm that Pierce is armed with a 9mm
David's getting a watch
handgun.
call right now.
Yeah.
The lesson is, do not mistake Pierce for just another hacker. He's something more. Despite Chicago PD's considerable show of force against Pierce, he managed to escape the area by disrupting the CTOS transit system. One of our top priorities should be to find the exploit he used and close it off.
Turns out as well as I think it's going to. I don't know. I'm really skeptical.
As Pierce makes his escape, we again see clear evidence that an unknown party was monitoring his actions. We must track down this individual and determine if he or she is trying to stop him, or worse, help him. We must protect our system, and that means containing Aiden Pierce. Any breach of CTOS is a danger to everyone.
Yeah, and that's going to be the thing, is being able to do all these certain things. And now my question is this: is it going to be things where you can do them all at once? Like, hey, I hit a stop sign, I make it turn green, make something crash, go to jump on the the train, run out of there, and do all that stuff? Or is it going to be sequences where you're like, okay, well, I need to, do this, and this is going to react to this, and, so forth. So I hope it really is open world. I can't wait to see if that actually works out, but we will see what happens with that one.
I'm just wondering, is it only quest-based? No, is it like in Grand Theft Auto, you don't have to do the mission, you can just go around, cause havoc?
Probably so. I mean, I'd say you're going to be able to cause havoc. I mean,
I don't doubt that. I mean, they clearly show it off in this trailer, I mean...
I bet you don't lie.
Yeah.
If anybody wants to hire a Linux server administrator or a SQL administrator or a website designer, I think I can find one for you.
Is his name Stu?
Well, Stu would be the website designer, but server administrator, I think I can get that covered too.
All right, let's kick on over to the other one here. This one is Daylight. This is off the Unreal 4 engine. So this one's kind of crazy with the. I don't know how we had the game Amnesia. Was that?
Amnesia.
Yeah, that's what it was.
I remember that, yeah. So
where you were basically going through and it's like a monster was tracking you down behind you all the time. This is a different kind of game with that. Is that... Dude, I saw the trailer and I was like, yeah, this has definitely got to be on the show. So definitely check this one out.
Hello? Anybody there?
By the way, it's by Zombie Studios. If you didn't
Really?
catch
That's
that
why you
one.
like it. Why is that? Start to play. One of the horror games.
It's freaking kind of crazy. I like the with the glow sticks and stuff like that. How you're like kind of like seeing stuff.
Yeah. Depending on what lighting and shit you have.
Yeah.
It's got that it wants to stay. Like anyway.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I like the fact that you're using your cell phone for a lighting source.
I know you're there.
Yeah.
That's kind of...
And using kind of like the
Having
imagery
done
on
that
it.
in real life, folks, that's actually a smart... These lights on these things are like ridiculous anymore.
Yeah.
So what I'm kind of getting is it's going to be one of those things where you kind of like, hey, you have that teddy bear there, you go up to the door, and that will help you open that door. You got to kind of figure out the
it's going to be
puzzles
like
with
an
that stuff.
adventure puzzle horror game.
Right. Yeah, that's the main thing. Is I really think it's going to be awesome. So I can't wait to see how that goes. What does everybody else think?
Makes me pretty interesting.
You know me, I'm the non-horror person here, but it it has a potential. I'd love to see this one. This is one of those games where you want to see those casters that are out there, which you need to join LagSpike, by the way, those people, and and where they play one that's completely dark in the room and they're up there next to their and this is gonna be one of those games.
Yeah.
I like that there's I don't know if you guys ever played Myst.
Yeah.
But it's got that going on as well. It's a bit of puzzle solving, like a Myst ad.
Yeah, I really think that's going to be the key factor to this. Is it's going to be one of those things where you have to immerse yourself in the game to be able to get really, I guess basically kind of be alone. Don't have a bunch of people around to really,
well,
kind
I
of
mean,
space.
Even if you do have some people around you, I think with the whole puzzle factor of the whole thing, you are going to end up getting immersed in it anyways, because you're going to, go up to a door or some shit like that and be like, oh god, I need something for this, and then, come across the teddy bear and be like, oh shit, I could probably use this to open the door. Oh, that's right. Oh, where was it, what's going to happen, everything like that. So you're going to get that whole factor in regardless of, if you got people around you. I mean, sure, it might take away from, the slight horror factor of in the trailer where the door shuts in his face.
Yeah.
The it looks pretty good. I just hope it doesn't get bogged down with inane puzzles. I hope the puzzles are actually relevant and
yeah, where you can
Makes sense.
and logical. Yeah, and not
Anybody there?
in a spot where it's you're never going to have a horror puzzle MMO or game without spoilers out there on the internet. But this would be like one of them that you'd like to try to figure out yourself.
Now my question is this though: how long does it take for you to look up a spoiler online? I mean, a lot of people don't remember growing up and having games where you didn't have the internet to go to and be able to cheat, and go and, I need this real quick, and go and cheat and figure out how you did it. But how long does it usually take before you get frustrated and you say, fuck it, I'm done with this, I'm not going to do anymore, and I'm going to look up the way to do this? How long does it usually take you?
I know you're there.
Well, if I can remember Dragon Age, in the first Dragon Age, there's a part where you got to go across a bridge, and in order to do that, you have to step on these tiles in order to bring up a certain part of the bridge. And the amount of people who just all the working out, find this.
Hello? Anybody there?
It was pretty. If you use common sense, you work it out. But a lot of it is patience.
Yeah, I mean, I think for me, it really depends on the game, because most games I'll try and figure it out for good, probably 30 minutes or something. See if I can get it. If I can't, then I'll look it up. Now, other games will completely just irritate the hell out of me and be like, yeah, no, I'm just gonna look this up. Perfect example, The Secret World, when I played it. I was like, fuck this. No.
Oh yeah.
Everything I do is getting looked up, then regardless.
I can kind of
and my frustration level is it's reached. I get frustrated way too easy on stuff.
I know you're there.
So I just avoid these kind of games because I can't. This Cosmic's seen me try to do the jump puzzles in Guild Wars 2.
Yeah.
He remembers that.
Yeah,
I'm
that
pretty
one's
sure.
that one's some fun.
I'm pretty
With
sure
the jump
Stu
puzzles.
does too, and so does even Ron and Adam have seen a little bit of that too. I'm horrible. I'll be honest with you. I am just horrible when it comes to this stuff. I get frustrated way too easy. Anymore, I get because of issues that we won't discuss here. I get irritated extremely fast, so it's gotten even worse, if not better, actually.
Yeah.
So
Hey, I get
I
pissed.
would say, yeah, I'm probably the worst person to play these kind of games, and that's why you'll never see me broadcast them either, because I don't want you guys to see me over here typing on the and.
Yeah. Plus, going back to the whole immersion thing we were talking about is, what kind of story is this game gonna have? You look at the environment in the trailer that the person's in. why are they there? What are they doing? So I think, if they actually put a story behind this, which they're pretty sure they're going to, because, a lot of games like this, they do. I mean, you're just going to get immersed in the story, regardless. You're going to be like, oh, yeah, I'm in this place because of this or whatever, or I'm looking for this or however they're going to set it up. But it's going to be pretty interesting to see what they actually do with it.
Well, let's go ahead and let's move on to a little bit of video game news, and we'll kick into the meat of our show. We're talking a little bit of a lot's been happening since Arcade's been gone. The announcement of the PS4. We got to see the controller. We got to hear a little bit of the specs on what the system's going to have. Now, they've been looking at the DualShock controller, the DualShock 4 controller now for a little bit of time, and they're thinking that you might be able to remove, if you'll notice it looks like a little sensor plate at the top where, where you can move around. They're saying that you might be able to take that off and be able to use it. Possibility of that. Now, me personally, when I saw the whole the announcement of Sony saying, hey, we're gonna let Microsoft go first, and Microsoft's like, oh, well, thank you, we will take. Then like, psych, we're gonna go first. And so they showed out that this console is made for developers, and that's the problem with the PS3, is that it was so damn hard to program for the cell architecture that now that they've kind of, I don't really want to say they've dumbed it down, but they made it where it's a lot easier for people to work with stuff they've already worked with for a while. So, what do you guys think about the controller PS4 altogether? What do you think?
I'm not sure what I am with it. That's
yeah.
It's one of the things. It could work, but at the same time, it looks like it could be a nuisance. At the same time, it's always going to feel in your hand. That's the main thing.
I'm not positive about it because it looks, I don't know, it just looks hard to hold to me. But we'll hopefully be seeing some more examples of that here coming soon. At least that versions that we can hold, and everything. But I'm not sure. I just can't say right now because it's look, we got the PS4, and it's like, I see a controller. Don't see the box. I don't see the. I don't see what makes it such a wow system yet.
Yeah,
and it's going to be considering you're going to be challenged by at least one or two other right at the same time. How are you going to sell this over and above your competitor?
That's going to be the thing, man, is how are they going to... See, the one thing that everybody sits here and says that they love their PS3, but whenever they friends get games, they play on Xbox. Because why? It's so much easier to go on to, Xbox Live, group with your friends, and play games than it is to go through Sony's garbage of, all right, let me invite you to a game. Oh, we got to do 17 processes to get you into a game.
Yeah.
And it's horrible. So, right there, Xbox has already got the community built up. And when it comes down to friends playing games, it's like, hey, what are you going to play? You're going to play, a game with a couple of people that or are you going to play the game with a lot of people that that you can connect to? And that's where it's going to come down to, I think the Xbox has already got it out, like, right off the bat. I mean, off the bat.
And to go off on that is that Xbox has already got the edge on them because they've released the specs and everything on what the PS4 is going to be. Xbox have not come out yet, but everybody's speculating what it could be. But they could easily say, well, since you guys have done that, we'll just upgrade something on the sly,
Yeah.
And they could just, get ahead of the game now.
That's going to be the thing.
Yeah, I honestly, I don't know. I think the controller and, some of the game announcements they did in their press conference, You know, that was cool, but I mean, them just throwing out the system specs for the PlayStation 4 and all that, like, yeah, this is what it's gonna be. I think that was a stupid move on their part. You know, they should have just waited till E3 and then been like, yeah, this is our system specs, and then like, oh, look at that, that's our system. You know, like right back to back. I think that would have gotten a lot of people, but now that people have seen the controller, they've seen what types of games, you know, are gonna come, you know, when the system launches. You know, they know the system specs. There's not much there to keep you, you know, surprised or anything. You're just like, oh, okay.
I think PS4's bread and butter is going to be the new Destiny game that comes out for it. I think that's the big one that's going to be.
That's the question. We haven't heard much from that game. I don't know what the hell. Like, they're saying it has single player elements in it. You can play it single player, but then you can play it with a big group of people.
Plus another thing, a lot of the people who were at the Sony press conference, I highly doubt they're gonna have exclusives. Like, you know, with Bungie being there with Destiny, I highly doubt they're gonna put that exclusively on the PlayStation 3 because that would just, you know, they wouldn't do that, you know. And then you got Blizzard. Blizzard definitely is not going to put fucking Diablo and, you know, any other console games that go exclusively on one system. They're like, fuck that. Give me your money, you know?
You're gonna cut your nose off in spite of your face. I mean, come on. If you're a major, the only way you're going to have any sort of exclusive is you are going to have to pay me Sony to make this exclusive in an amount equal to the amount of sales I am losing by being on your system only.
Yeah.
And with the Xbox, the new Xbox coming out at almost the same time, you're talking, okay, you're talking walking in here with, okay, I'm going to bet on the Betamax versus the VHS.
Yeah. And I mean, especially in Blizzard's case with this, like, you know, with them, you know, a lot of people were freaking out. Oh god, they're at the Sony press conference. You know, oh traitors. Yeah, well, you think about it. You know, Xbox or you know Microsoft and them have been keeping all of their shit just like tight, dude. They're not releasing shit for information about anything, you know. Blizzard's being quiet, Bungie's being quiet about anything Microsoft and all that, you know, with the Xbox. So E3 is going to be really interesting because I can't tell you how many people I've talked to on the Xbox who have been waiting years for fucking Diablo on consoles, and that is why Torchlight did so amazing on the consoles, dude. Is because they want that dungeon crawler experience on the consoles. They don't have
now they're
it.
going to get that because now Diablo 3 is coming over to PlayStation 3.
But to make sure that playing Destiny cooperatively with your friends,
that's going to be crazy.
It's gonna blow your mind.
But exactly right. There is that other issue that's involved in this, and that's the stupid copyright chips. That they're talking about doing in Sony's situation. I don't know if it's the actual chip, but you're going to have. Well, let's be honest. It's going to be the online DRM.
Well, that's another thing though. Is that I've heard rumors to say that Sony is not going to do. Hey, we're not doing you know, the used games thing where you're going to be able to block used games. It's going to be fine. Now that's going to be possibly where Xbox possibly, you know, cuts their leg off in this whole race. Is like, you know, if they go with that right there, you better believe it. People are going to be like, screw Xbox. But it's such a hard thing to do though. Is if you sit there and say, hey, look, we have the better network, the better area to play in,
hey everybody, it's great to be
but you're not going to be able to play used games. Okay, then it's going to be these other people sitting there saying, okay, well, you can play used games, but you have a shitty network. You know, do you think Sony has possibly learned from its mistakes? I mean, hell, we thought that they learned from their mistakes of all their hacking, and it happened again and again and again and again.
I mean,
the answer is Destiny.
If any console developers, you know, Sony or Microsoft or Nintendo, whatever, decides to go down, yeah, you know, we're gonna make our console where you can't play used games, they are definitely gonna be shooting themselves in the foot, Because if they go back, look at numbers and all that stuff, a lot of people go get used games and stuff like that, and developers have picked up on that. So that's why we have these season passes and these online passes and shit. Like with I believe it was like Battlefield on the Xbox, Battlefield 3 has you gotta have the pass to get on there. Which if you go buy it used, you don't get the pass. You have to buy it with Microsoft points. So
it's a great piece of gear.
That is a way better system of still allowing people to, be able to use games and everything, and just buy the pass if they want that, content. Just like
the real reason it's used games. Now the older games, I can understand if these consoles don't run the older games,
right?
Just because of the not all the Xbox games used to run on the Xbox 360, for example. And that doesn't bother me that much because you're talking new technology. If you really still want to keep those games, you still got the other console. It's the used game market, which, by the way, pretty much is GameStop. When you really get down to it, that's like 80% of their sales, or some ridiculous number of their sales, is used games now. And so, especially with things like Steam out there, that's where they make their money right now, is in the used game market, and they'll go out of business. And then what do you got when you want to put?
And I mean, even on a side note, outside of GameStop and stuff, people, how if they disable used games, on any of the consoles, then are they gonna? It's basically the way I look at it is, if they do that, the way they would have to set that up is, if you borrow a game from someone, even then you're gonna be screwed, which that is gonna hurt them probably way more than actually just disabling, used games, whatever. Because you think about it, if your friend gets a new game, you don't have the money to do it yet, but you're, or you're on the fence, oh, I don't know, I haven't really tried it. My friend's got it, let me, try it, and, 9 times out of 10 people are like, oh yeah, this is awesome, alright, I'm gonna go buy it, new. So, I mean, if they disable used games, they're gonna be taking up that avenue of business as well.
One last thing on this, I do know there are a couple politicians out there that are going to fight, that actually are talking about making laws to prevent them from doing the copyright chip. So we'll see. Again, I don't think there's going to be a chance of that actually passing, but there are a couple of individuals that I know of, and I have some inside knowledge on that at least one fairly major prominent politician has already said, when I buy something, it's mine. And that's the way it's got to be. So we'll see what happens, because then when the politicians get involved, everything could go completely.
Everything could change completely. Go ahead and move on to the next subject here. Let's go on to the Retro N5. A lot of emulators are out there. I mean, a lot of people use their computer as, an emulator. It is legal. You just gotta have the actual copy of it, and you actually gotta have the actual the BIOS.
Got a perfect side note for this story too. All right.
From that, so now what they're gonna be doing is, with this Retro N5, it plays NES, Super NES, Sega, Game Boy, Advance games, and also Famicom. It does HDMI out, so it's gonna look up. I don't know how well you're gonna have your old games look, but I mean, it's gonna be. I mean, you're gonna be able to at least play it. It's gonna be around about $100. What do you guys think about being able to literally blow out those old cartridges and be able to use them again?
Oh God, I remember doing that.
If I still had any, I'd be like, yay. But
this blows literally. I'm just saying.
I mean, if I can do a Dreamcast, I'd love to be able to do my NFL game again. But other than that, it's going to have a market. I mean, look how many retro gamers are broadcasting on Twitch right now.
Oh yeah,
right now.
I know a lot of people who still have like their Segas, you know, their fucking NESs, their Super NESs, and stuff like that, and they just have like collection of their old games that they used to play. You know, people who really enjoyed those games back then and realized the value of what they had, you know, which is actually a lot of people nowadays. They are definitely going to scoop this up.
Oh, yeah. Now, with the HDMI out, like I say, now you're going to get a lot of these retro gamers are going to be picking this thing up and broadcasting with it.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
That's where the advantage of this thing is. You don't have to fuddle around with an emulator or anything like that. There is a definite market for this, and I don't have very many retro games left. I've got one.
Yeah.
And I don't even have a console to run it on. I forgot to put the cartridge in the box when I sold it too.
Well, I mean, so supposedly this thing's going to have save states also, like the emulators do. Emulators, you know, and I don't know how in the hell I did it when I was younger. Like, I go back and play those old games, and I'm like, God, this thing is hard as hell. How the hell did I beat this game?
Well, they have stated that they have made games easier to play.
Oh yeah, by far.
Because it gives you don't get as frustrated and you play longer, and that's what they want, and that is true. They have done that.
Yeah,
and a little thing out to the chat room there to see what you guys think. Do you think games are easier now or a little bit harder now? Which do you think as we keep going on? Go ahead, Cosmo.
I was gonna say on the side note, now that we're talking about emulators and stuff, I made sure it wasn't in the notes when I talked about this, but the Ouya Android console coming out. There's a story I believe just the other day that was saying about emulators being on the Ouya.
How is that working?
Well, they're either gonna have the emulators like on the store. As like an app to download, or they even say here on this forum post to where, you know, it's been mentioned in the past that on Ouya you can side load apps. So you can load up your own apps and stuff in there, which, you know, is just gonna definitely make the console, you know, awesome, you know, because I mean it's Android based, but you can, you know, they have it open for everybody. So I thought that was really cool that, you know, they were, because I remember they took a poll on the forum. And they were like, yeah, do you guys want emulators? And, like, everybody just, yes. Like, nobody said no. I was like, okay, that's going to be in there. I mean, they're doing a really good job at listening to the community. So, anybody who's getting an Ouya, which ships 2 days from now, on the 28th. Yep, I can't wait for mine. You know, you can look forward to that.
You know, I didn't get it, but, you know. Gotcha. How much was that? Was it $100?
I got the limited edition one. Was 140 for the bronze one. That was only through the Kickstarter. But yeah, the console when it releases in stores in June, I believe, is going to be like about 100 just for a base console. You know,
there's a lot of focus today on the mobile.
Consoles are going to come with a controller. The console, I think, it might come with like 2 controllers. I'm not sure.
Costs a lot of money. You have to work with.
But yeah, I know
space,
me and Stu
have
ours on order and everything like that. We're basically just waiting for them to get here. So when they get here and we get time to mess around with them, definitely expect some stories from one or both of us about the damn thing.
The CEO of that company, she's the shit out of me. She would make me buy that fucking system. She's like, you're gonna buy this fucking thing. Yeah, I will.
Well, I mean,
console business as it is.
I don't know.
I just think it's awesome that she's passionate about it, actually.
Yeah, I mean, that's what I'm saying. That's what it is she's very serious about it, because when you think about what the Ouya is, you know, it's Android-based, you know, open source console, you know, that can be modded and all that stuff.
We wanted to make
it is, I mean, how many of those have you really seen try to take off, you know?
Over the years,
and I mean, this one is, you know, they're so passionate about it and they want it to work that they pushed it, and it's finally coming true in like 2 days, you know? Or actually earlier than that, it's already came true because they've already sent out dev kits and everything like that to people. So,
the most important part of this process is the controller.
We
I'm
really focus a lot
really
on
glad
what
that
gamers
this
are
has
looking
come out.
for. Precise
Is coming
controls,
and not to make it.
tactility,
Yeah,
light
and-
sensing.
and,
what makes Ouya
gonna be-
different and gives
gonna be
it the
interesting to see
potential
how it
of
works.
changing.
Yeah,
the
and I mean,
gaming
it's gonna
environment is, are you
the
able to build
controller. If
things right
anybody who's
from
looked
the
it up,
start?
you know, the
don't have to
controller
pay
is going to be
outrageous amounts of money
familiar,
for a dev kit.
and
You
I mean,
don't
it's
have to
even
have a lot
the
of
center
credentials.
part of it
Just good
is going to
ideas.
have that
The more we have
touchpad,
something like this
similar
open
to what we
console
saw in
that
the
can
back
break
in
that,
the
it's gonna open it up for a
PlayStation,
new
you know,
business
4
segment for
DualShock
the
controller
independent developers.
Since it's
story.
Android based, we have a
You know,
great
it's going to have one
keyboard
of those
and
built
above
into
on
it,
Android
which
already.
you know
That
it's
would be
it's going to open
really
it
fun
up,
to see
especially with it
up on the
being
TV.
you know
We
heavily
have a prototype and it works.
you know
We'll have all
modifiable.
I
the
didn't even
genres
think
we
about
want.
that.
Shooters,
This bastard
platformers,
stole that
sports,
idea.
and RPGs. We'll have games from major game
I don't know. I'm
publishers
sure. I'm
and
pretty
indies
sure it's
too.
just
We'll
one of
have a
them
full
things
store of
that's
games, all
everybody's
free to
kind of
play.
starting to think about
Minecraft
now
is gonna be
for
on. And Twitch
development
TV, so
of
you can
different
watch
stuff.
StarCraft and League of Legends.
I mean, have you not
This is
noticed
the
that though?
perfect
It's like,
hybrid
okay,
of
so
something that's
we had the
inexpensive,
DS, right,
open,
from
and
Nintendo.
it comes with a
Yeah.
And they're like,
fantastic
everybody
It's
likes
open
dual
for hackers
screens.
that want to tweak the box and
We'll
make it
take our
their own.
portable
This is a
idea and
big
put it to our
undertaking.
console.
Effectively, we're
Oh,
trying to
okay.
disrupt an
Now,
established
Sony
industry.
comes along
It
and they're
takes a
like,
lot of
we
guts
have the
and courage.
PSP,
Well, I wasn't
or
a female, I
PSP
saved
Vita,
balls.
which is a horrible name.
We raised
And,
money
you know, it
for
has
friends
touch
and family,
sensors on
but
the
it
back
takes
of it.
more. Kickstarter is a
We'll put touch
phenomenal
sensors on our
place
controller.
where early
So
ideas
is
can
that
get
going to be a
supported by
common
those
thing that
people
we're
that
going
are
to
going to
start
want
seeing
to use
with
it. And this
all these
product
different,
will
you
not
know,
happen without their
consoles?
support.
Is they're
When we
like,
raise this
ooh,
money, it
that
means
did really
that
well.
we've
Next thing you know,
arrived.
you're going
There
to
is
be
a
playing
need
with a
for an open
stylus
game
on your
console,
TV.
and that there is
You
support
know,
from
it's,
gamers and
Yeah,
developers
one thing I
alike. You're the
haven't
signal to
really
the world that
seen
this is
about
wanted.
this thing is I'm not sure if the Ouya has an HDMI on it. I think it does.
I
Oh,
believe
wait.
think
it
it does.
does.
Yeah, I think it does.
Yeah, it had, yeah. Okay.
I
Ah,
love
see,
video
there we go.
games, but
Stu,
more
our,
and more people
Stu's
are
like,
moving away from
producer.
mobile. There's a
He's like,
lot of focus
wait,
today on the mobile.
I gotta
end,
chime
but
in here.
Just,
it's easier to develop games for those platforms
oh,
than
well,
television.
Well,
we can
that
hear
It
it.
costs a lot of
No,
money.
okay,
You
well,
have
Stu-
to work
Stu
with
just
established
informed us,
players
yes,
in
it has
the space, and I'm
HDMI
trying to
port.
figure out how do we get them
Voices
back
in
to
my
it.
head. Okay, talk to me. Anyway,
Ouya is a new game console for the television.
So
That's
yeah,
built on
that's
open
definitely-
resource technology.
Definitely
It's
look
an
forward to
inexpensive
some,
game
stories
console for
from
gamers.
me and
All the
Stu
games are free to
on the
try.
Ouya
Anybody
when
that
we
wants to
get
develop
ours.
a game for television,
So,
we allow them the
I
ability
definitely want to see
do
an
this. I've been a
unboxing, by
part
the
of the
way.
game industry for a
I'm
really
just
long
saying.
time.
Yeah,
Early
I'll probably
days,
do
you
that.
could
I've
take your
got
Apple IIe, write your own programming, and take your game to market.
The console business as it is today is
probably.
completely
Yeah,
closed
now
to
that I've got more
independent
room on my
developers.
desk and
Process
everything
overhead
like
for
that, and as you
console
can
development
see, I'm
is
in
really
my
just too much
own
for us.
There's a
room
lot of
with my
hurdles for
computer now,
developers to
so
get
I
games on
can.
the television. Developing is extremely
Do all my
expensive.
fancy
I
stuff.
love the television.
But yeah.
I want those games on the television.
One of us will
We
get
wanted
it.
to make
You know,
a great
I'll probably
product.
do the
I went out
video
to find the
first while
best
he'll
people that
probably
can
be
do it,
typing up
and
some
that's Ube
awesome
Hara
ass
Fuse Project.
like 12-page
Over the years,
review.
we've worked on a lot of projects.
By the
that
way,
take a certain
page
technology
number
and make it
73.
available to many. I mean, the $100
Yeah.
laptop is.
All right,
one,
let's
and
move on
Jambox,
to the next one
for
here.
example. We like to
How
use
about we
all
go
the
a
different
little
parts
bit
of design,
of
fuse them together,
the next
whether
Mass
it's
Effect game,
industrial design or user
which is going
experience.
to
The most important part of
be.
this to us is the controller.
They're
New
saying
direction.
Really focus
yeah,
a
it's
lot
going to be a
on
new
what
direction
gamers
from the
look
old
for.
game.
Precise.
Now, my question is with that, a lot of people, are they pissed off about 3? And, oh, this is bullshit, because the way 3, you know, the story,
Well, I played it. I tell you something.
no spoilers,
It
by
was
the way.
it was a good game up until the end.
Yeah, I think a lot of people are pissed off about the ending of 3. I haven't played it, but I know every time I mention it, like to my brother and people who have played it, they're like, "Dude, don't talk to me about that fucking game." I'm like,
Here's,
"My fault, dude."
here's the thing with it. At the end, the one thing that pisses me off with games is if you rush it. And they rushed the end. That's what they did.
Yeah.
They exactly rushed it. They instead of they brought the extended cut out to try and make people understand what's going on. But at the end of the day, it's still rushed. Even the
Yeah.
extended cut was rushed. They didn't have the the same feeling of what the original the first two had.
Yeah, if they're actually going to go through with this, I'm pretty sure everybody's thinking this is that they need to learn from all the feedback from 3 and shit like that, and how people felt about what they did and how kind of poor job the ending was in 3, and take their time with it. I mean, that's definitely what I'm starting to see with a lot of games, is they're trying to bust these games out yearly now and everything like that, where you still got Rockstar over here busting out GTAs every, 3 to 5 years, and they're
Yes.
fucking amazing.
Well, there's so much content in the damn thing.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm saying, dude. I mean, not only that, but you look at the past GTAs and how long it's taken them to release, and you look at the quality improvements of not only the content and story, but like graphics wise and everything. It's gotten really good. And if, like, for instance, BioWare took that kind of time with Mass Effect, imagine what we would have.
Well, the thing is, I love a good story, and BioWare, over the years, give us the best stories. From Baldur's Gate and Neverwinter Nights.
Except for SWTOR, we'll let that one go. That one's
that one doesn't count.
Hey,
right?
SWTOR was a great story. It was
a good story.
There
just
was
the
a
rest of
thing after it.
But
shitty gameplay.
But to get back on topic, is that with Battlefield, who's come up with Battlefield in there? But anyway,
this just in, we just got 3 new screenshots of Battlefield 4.
Oh, yeah.
So
we don't have that on the lineup, do we?
No, we don't.
Yeah.
Let's go ahead and you know what? Fuck Mass Effect. How about that? No, I mean, Mass Effect is a good game. But the thing
about Mass Effect before we end.
Go ahead.
Well,
it is the thing about Mass Effect that we've got. Remember, this one's going to be on the new console. You think it's got enough shit in it now? Wait till it's on that new console.
Yeah, well, they're saying with this new Mass Effect, we're still on Mass Effect, by the way, but we will get over to something that talks about this technology also, is talking about it's going to be running off the Frostbite engine. Am I correct on that? I just read that, and it was somewhere, and I lost it. Yeah, it's a Frostbite 2 engine.
Yeah, the Mass Effect, I saw that too.
So now,
that's going to be interesting if they do that.
Now, if they do that, that means things are going to be able to explode, there's going to be walls, damage, all that crazy shit, but it's not a prequel or sequel, they said yet.
But the funny thing is with Mass Effect 3, though, is that between the two, Mass Effect 3 combat system was awesome. I liked the way you were checking it. They brought the grenade system back in, but the story, I'm pissed off with Bio because they were always known for a good story. And they just rushed it at the end. They just made their reputation.
Yeah.
If they went back and took the time that they did 1 and 2, the reason why number 1 and 2 was so great is because the story was so immersive and it wasn't rushed. And if they did that with 3, they wouldn't be in the mess they were.
I just was thinking about this for a second, because I see they're using Frostbite 2 is the engine they're using. So that's like their latest one, the badass of the badass engines here for destructible environments. My question is
that's the main thing.
Using that engine, I don't think they would be able to build the world like they have in the previous ones, where it kind of sort of leads you
along.
Yeah, I think it would have to be a lot more open, kind of sandbox-ish to work with that engine properly, how they're going to, want it to. So I'm thinking in Mass Effect 4, we might get... they're probably going to throw a lot more content in there just because of the engine alone.
Mm-hmm.
So they're saying that you're going to be exploring, looking for a new way for you to explore the universe in the Mass Effect world. I don't think it's going to be a problem. I think it is going to be more sandbox where you're going to be able to go around.
And that brings up a question then.
What's that?
In the first 2, the 3, you had the ships, you had the Normandy going around. Now, to me, since they're going in a new direction, are they keeping with Shepard? Because right at the end.
Hey, no spoilers.
No spoilers. But all I'm going to say is, if you do a certain thing, it brings something else up. I won't go into it, but Mass Effect, I'm just wondering.
I'd like to be able to play one of the aliens.
That's the thing. Are you going to use?
I mean, it all depends, because nobody really knows if it's going to be like a sequel or like kind of like a prequel type game, you know what I mean? Right. And I mean, if it's a sequel, possibly. I don't know, I haven't played 3. Well, shut up, don't want to hear it. But if it's a prequel, then I'm going to say no on Shepard, just because, that would be stupid. Yeah, we're doing a prequel, it's going to be before 1, but yet in 1 you get introduced to him, but he's in the prequel. It's like, what?
I'll come in on that.
Well, no, don't want to hear it. No, I don't want to hear no Mass Effect 3 spoilers.
I will have to mention.
Moving on to
I won't have to mention 3. What I'm going to do is, you played Mass Effect 1?
Yes.
Then you will know from Mass Effect 1 what came before.
All Well, let's jump off this subject because I've got a real bad feeling this is going to get
Battlefield 4
spoiled.
screenshots. You guys been watching?
New engine, by the way. Brand new engine.
What, Frostbite 3?
Frostbite 3 engine. That's going to be interesting to see what's going on with that. Is it going to push your system a little bit more? Who the knows? But screenshots, what I'm seeing here, it looks like it's going to be a lot more like Bad Company with story-wise. Remember how, everybody was talking about the story with 3, that it was all right. It was okay.
Dude,
but,
Bad Company was so amazing.
Right.
Haggard, dude. There's gold in them hills.
Right, so now are they going more Battlefield? Because a lot of people were pissed off, and I don't understand this hate between the two. It's like people who, if they make a new Battlefield, all of a sudden they're like, oh, it's Battlefield 3. Why didn't you make Battlefield, Bad Company 3? Fuck you. And then there's the people who are like, hey, douchebag, look, we want a new Battlefield. That's all there is to it. Yeah. And so it's back and forth. Now you merge those two together, I think you're going to get more. I mean, hell, you've seen the screenshots right here. You have 3 people right in that area. You have another guy over top of another. That sounds really horrible. Another guy over top of guy like looks like
whatever trips your trigger they're
at. Whatever floats the boat.
And so, are we going to get more of a, I guess you could say, Bad Company feel to Battlefield, or is it going to kind of keep the super realistic, crazy? I mean, hell, the only complaint that I have with Battlefield Bad Company is that you can take a drill and drill through a wall, and it pissed me off.
Yeah. So. I mean, it does, just from the screenshots alone here, I mean, it does kind of look like you are going to be rolling in a small kind of squad for your missions and everything like that, like you did in, Bad Company and, other shooters. Well, I'm not even going to name, because it's Battlefield. But
Call of Duty.
Shut up, Daniel. But yeah, I mean, it does look like you're going to be rolling around in a small squad, so, I mean, that's still pretty cool, but as always, like you could in Bad Company 2, you're, just do shit on your own, they'd be like, oh, you guys run that way, I'm going to come over here and cross-snipe some people. We'll be alright.
That's going to be the thing. Back. Yeah. Let's see here, they might add co-op. Yeah, I could see that. I see. Here's the thing I hate. I hate that they do these 2 different things. Well, they give you a single player, and that's cool and all, but I don't want to play the single player. Maybe I want to play it co-op with a friend. So give me another person to be able to play the single player with.
Well, I mean, Battlefield has been really good about them progressing their games. If they add features into one game, it usually progresses into the next one. So far that I've seen, I mean, I'm sure if I'm wrong, someone will say something in chat, but I mean, they've been pretty good about it. And honestly, like a 4-man team co-op stuff, it's been done in past games. I know Rainbow Six Vegas and Vegas 2 had it, or Vegas 2 had it at least. I don't think the first one had it, but yeah. Anyways, so I mean, it's been done, and for Battlefield, I think that would be fucking amazing. Outside of just in like little challenges and shit, where you got the AI just coming at you and you defend.
Right.
I mean, actually being able to go through 4-player co-op on campaign, or at least do like the missions or whatever, I think that'd be freaking phenomenal. And then what they could do is they could set up a leaderboard for like time and times and stuff like that, and you fucking just time run the shit, but you have to kill all the guys,
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Keep track of your kills and your time.
I could see some stuff like that would be kind of cool to do. I mean, Battlefield is not a game that I beat the AI. It's not that kind of game, guys. I don't know about co-op. I don't even single player. It's kind of one of those surprises. Like, people actually play the single player.
Yeah,
because it's pretty much, it's just like Call of Duty. I mean, you're talking.
I don't play for single player. Okay, I'll tell you that right
now. I'm just saying that, I know people like it, don't get me wrong, but I can't see it. This is not the game to be worried about single player.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. I'm not as big of a deal on that. Battlefield, I'm horrible at first-person shooters. everybody here can verify that.
Well,
But
doesn't it feel too soon?
Battlefield just feels more realistic to me. It has been. It's always felt more realistic to me. And so that's what I'm looking for. If I'm going to be involved in this, is more of that realism.
Yeah, and is this going to be on next gen or is this going to be on current gen consoles?
I think it's going to be next gen.
All right, next gen PC. All right, yeah. Then to answer somebody's question in the chat about about the maps, new engine, new consoles, maybe we'll see bigger and better maps. I think that all really depends on what we're looking for forward to in next gen consoles. Because you look at Battlefield 3, they had to squish it down from the PC because they were already pushing the Xbox 360 to its limits. Hence the reason why if you bought Battlefield 3 on the console, you had to basically download the high-res textures, instead of them being on the disc or whatever, already installed like they were on PC. So PC, I would say, yeah, we're probably going to see way bigger environments. You're going to be able to do a lot more with them. On consoles, I don't know. I would like to say yes, but I think it would be kind of a stretch just because of we don't, we know the PlayStation 4 specs, but, they might change that later. They might not announce something different at E3. And then, Microsoft, we don't even know what their, specs and shit are yet. They haven't said anything. So it's going to have to be one of the things where we just wait and see.
So let's move on to a game that I love. I haven't played much of, but a little bit of XCOM. It's heading to iOS, that means you're going to be able to play it on your tablet. So that seems to be pretty nice. But also, they hint around, not only that it's coming to iOS, that there's going to be a sequel. They've hinted around to that, and I don't know about you all. I'm ready for another XCOM. I think this one that I'm playing through right now is phenomenal. So I'm ready for a next XCOM.
do you want me to get in on this?
Yeah, go for it.
Because you know me, I played this to death. Well, basically, I'm going to say, my concerns over XCOM was it going to live up to the older XCOM? And this game is phenomenal. I'm going to say it's not the exact same feeling that, you can build like multiple bases than they did in the older one, but at the same time, it gives you a feeling you are playing XCOM. You fight defending the world, and they got these missions in there you got to do as well. And I like the fact that it's going over to iOS, and a new XCOM will be fantastic.
Man, where's my Windows Marketplace games at, man? Seriously.
You bought a Windows phone. You get
game. And as we already have an alien contract.
It's cool.
Well, since Adam now has an iOS phone.
I wouldn't know. What? Really? Oh. I don't know how it's going to work on this freaking.
Hold on, let me just load up my Xbox Live app and do all my shit on there real quick.
No. I'm just saying, but I'm saying. The two people here that I know that have these phones that it would work on,
right?
Because it's a turn-based game, or at least kind of a
looks like
an action point game. Actually, is what it is. I can see it working on these. I didn't ever purchase this game because of money issues. However, my buddy Ray came over and had it on his computer here. He brought his computer over. And we watched him constantly playing this thing, and it looks exactly like the old XCOM. The old XCOM I was a big fan of, and I would have bought this, like I said, if it wasn't for the money issues I was running into at the point. So, they're doing it on an iPad here, where you can see all the just touch. Oh, I want the guy to go here. Done. If you watch this, I think it's great. I think this is fantastic.
But is it going to work on the
iPhone? This is the kind
iPhone?
of game that makes the iPad desirable.
The most amazing
yeah, but I mean, with the iPhone, I mean, really, with it, I have to go into it, hit there, go, scroll out, look at the whole map, scroll in. I definitely say
Now, we
iPad
started work
is
on this
definitely
over
the
the
way to
next
go
few
if you're going
months.
Well,
to
yeah,
get it
because
this way.
it's got the bigger, you know, screen
Good luck.
surface. Yeah, of course.
We'll be watching.
But I mean, it's still going to be doable on, you know, iPhones and, you know, stuff like that. I mean, it'll still be playable for, you know, just a quick little fix when you're bored or whatever, you know, sitting outside or, you know, on break from work or some crap like that, you know. I mean, it's, yeah, you know,
Not our
just to
meetings.
kill some time, it'll definitely be doable. And, you know, just after seeing the video, it looks like it functions well, you know, so it could, you know, it's going to be very interesting. I think I think it's going to be pretty huge on the portable devices.
And I will say this, for anybody who wants to play XCOM, that if anybody played the old one like I did, where the moment you get off the damn plane, you died.
Yeah.
And with this, it's not as strictly as hard as that, but it's still flipping hard. Because the moment you put it on hardcore Iron Man, it catches your metal. It literally does. And if you got patience, great. You'll enjoy this game. If you don't, you'll be pulling your hair out.
No, every bit of it. Dave's like, don't put me as a character. Well, who was the first character to die? Dave on my game. All right, let's go ahead and kick it over to a little bit of a Call of Duty Ghosts. Ghost. Oh boy. Wow.
Cool, they're ripping off Ghost Recon now. Is that what this is?
Yeah, you know, you gotta do something to make money, right? So, Call of Duty is now coming out with another one.
Actually, they're going to go into a house, and the ghost hunters have to go find them.
Maybe it's that game that we were seeing earlier with ghost hunting, where you actually maybe that's what we're doing. But yeah,
maybe after this game they'll disappear.
Oh God, I hope so. This franchise has been like, I understand you love the damn game, but seriously, why not put out a map pack? You know, and like the stories are not that great.
Yeah.
They're okay, but I mean, don't you think it's about time to hang up the Call of Duty hat? You think? Maybe, possibly?
I
can they
think
reinvent it? I mean, did they reinvent it with the new one? That's my big thing.
I don't know. Damn, I don't know. With Call of Duty, it's definitely one of the games I was definitely pointing at about earlier when I was saying, yeah,
hey
they
guys,
need to
Drifter
spend
here. I've
more
got
than
some
like
leaked
1 year
information
just
for you about
developing a
Modern
game.
Warfare 4. I've got
You
the
know,
title, I've
because
got a
if
release
you're only
date, I've
spending
got
like a
gameplay
year developing
information,
a
I got
game,
multiplayer,
you're
single player information, got a
basically
lot
just
of information
half-assing
going
it,
on
and
here
Call
about
of
the
Duty's
game.
been like a
I'm going to
perfect
tell you this
example.
comes from a very reliable
You know,
source
Black
on this
Ops
channel. I
2,
very
I'll
rarely
give
do
it
any
that.
sort of
I,
informational
actually
videos,
enjoyed it
especially
more
not
than
these
I
sort
thought
of
I
leaked
would,
videos, because
but
very rarely the information is
I don't know,
legitimate.
dude.
But a subscriber
Everything
of
in
mine
between
is,
that
we'll
and the
say,
first
a
Modern
part of the
Warfare
Call
is
of Duty
just
machine.
it's been
In making
lacking,
the game, you have
you
a
know,
lot of different
because they're like,
branches,
oh
a
yeah,
lot of
every
different
year,
people.
gotta
An
do it.
insider leaked
So
me this information.
Yeah.
It's
same
also
for
a
me with Call
subscriber
of
that I
Duty.
trust
I
a
love
lot. I
God
talk to a
4.
lot of people. I know a lot of people. This is
I
a person that I do
Modern
quite
Warfare
literally
2.
trust with my life, which is
Wasn't
the
the
reason
best
that I'm
one.
posting this
I
information.
thought Black
So
Ops
this
2
comes
was
from the
damn
most
awful.
direct and trustworthy source that I'm ever going to get anywhere. And
the
without
way I see Call of
teasing you
Duty,
anymore,
just
here is
rehashing
the
old stuff.
information.
There's
The
nothing
next Call
really
of Duty,
new
or
in
Modern
there.
Warfare 4,
Alright,
is going to be
maybe
Call of Duty
new,
Ghosts. That's not Call of Duty Ghost. That's Ghost with
mechanics
an
in there,
S,
but nothing
plural.
really big to make it stand
Previously, they
out.
were working on
To
some
say,
things
hey,
like
this is a
Call of Duty
campaign,
Phantoms.
because you know what?
Phantoms was the
You
other
played
subtitle
like
they were
5
kicking
times
around, but
already.
they went back to Call of Duty Ghosts. It's not
Yeah,
going
well,
to be Modern
the
Warfare
bad
4,
thing
it's
is
just Call of Duty
this is
Ghosts.
check
It's
this
gonna be
out. So
starting
they're
its
saying
own
that this is
thing.
going to
I
be
believe it's
next
going to be
gen.
branching out of the
You
Modern
know,
Warfare series, but
so
moving into a different direction.
it's
I wanted
about
to let you
time
know
for a
the
new
gameplay in the
engine.
background is
I'm
not
just
mine. I'm
saying,
actually at Boston
don't
right now in
like take the
PAX.
engine that you
Very
got now and
unexpectedly, this
babyfy
information
it.
came
You
my
know,
way, so
we'll
I'm
give you a
putting this
little bit
together on
of
my wife's
something,
laptop very
you know,
quickly.
with it.
The gameplay was
Like,
graciously
dude.
donated to me from J-Hub, and
Yeah,
I
so
would
it's
appreciate
supposed
if
to
you
be.
check out his
Yeah,
channel. It's
that's
down
Stu
there
was
in
just
the
telling me
description.
that
If
it's
the
supposed to be a
information that
new
I'm giving
engine.
is correct,
So
we should
let's see
expect
some
an
new
announcement on
gameplay.
May 1st.
How about?
What I was told
You
is that
know,
the announcement would be
every
on May
time
1st. It may be 2nd,
Call
3rd,
of Duty
4th, or
developers
if
say,
I
yeah, it's
upset
a new
somebody at
engine,
Activision, they may change
a
this
very,
just to
very,
troll me.
very
But the
slightly
announcement, the
tweaked
trailer, the
of
leak,
the shit they've been
information,
using
the
for the
big
past,
reveal
like,
is
what,
supposed to be
10,
coming
12
May
years?
1st, so be looking
So,
forward to
Yeah.
that. That's not very long
I
from
don't
now,
know.
a month plus a week
Honestly,
or so. The story
I have
for the
very low
campaign anyway is set
expectations
in
for
the
this, and I
future.
mean,
It's
if
a
it
future
comes
story
out and it
kind of like
actually
Black
looks
Ops,
really good, and they
but it
actually
uses
do
current
basically get a
generation
brand new
weaponry, and
engine that
this
doesn't look
confused
like
me.
the
It's
same
okay,
shit
so
it
we've
has
got
been,
future game.
I'll give them props for it, you know, but I highly doubt we're going to see that.
Event that causes
yeah, and I've got an issue with
our older
too,
weapons.
and
I'm assuming maybe it's
I've
like
always
a
had an issue with this with Call of Duty is that the maps are too damn small, and
I'm not exactly
it really
sure
comes down to
but the story set in the
because
future,
every Call of Duty game looks the same to me. Every
the multiplayer
gameplay
are now
of
dynamic.
Call of Duty is
Previously,
the same
like in
to
the
me.
beginning of this game, you just load it up and
you don't have the things,
3,
the pieces,
and then you would go
and extras that you have like with Battlefield and other games.
Game, you're going
and
to
I
be
think
rappelling from a helicopter.
Things like PlanetSide now out
Call
there.
Of Duty Ghost. That's what we're going to
I think Call of Duty
it's a dynamic
is
loading
gonna
screen,
have
kind
to
of
do
like the
something
because
they're going to start. I know it's super popular. I know it's still the number one game out there for first-person shooters. But they're going to have to do something because the other guys have caught up and actually have surpassed it. It's just brand loyalty right now that's holding you together. And when your brand loyalty all of a sudden disappears in a new console and you can't use any of your old games on it,
from what I've been told,
people are going to start reevaluating.
Yeah, I mean,
anything about Dolphin,
and that's
I think
where you get a problem.
Has not been mentioned to me. I asked,
to reevaluate, and then they're going to look at,
but instead we're going to have what we call dash into
just
sliding while shooting, or
better, and
while
you've got
shooting.
other shit, and you got
and
big fucking.
a perfect example of what you're talking about is you look at Square Enix and the Final Fantasy franchise. You know, they started running that shit in the ground, and people were like, you know, who've been fans for, you know, ever, you know, for like their entire life. Finally, we're just like, yeah, fuck this. You know, we can only put up with so much. We love the brand, yeah, but this is just ridiculous.
Yeah, and the other thing is as well that you know what, I love to see, would like to, and I can imagine I'm doing it, is PlanetSide 2 hitting the consoles. Can you imagine that?
Well, the thing is that honestly, the bad thing is with Call of Duty is, like I said, it's like taking sprinkles and putting it on a piece of dog shit. Yeah, it looks nice, but it still beats shit, so it doesn't matter.
Well, I think now is a good time to bring up that little item that is not on our list that we were mentioning.
You can simply roll to the right and roll to the left, and I'm
Defiance.
some sort of delay or balancing factor.
Oh, yeah,
actually, no, let's wait until a little bit later on, because we have we have
that.
Oh, it is on. Okay.
Yeah, we do have show notes for that one.
Totally gone.
So enough of freaking Call of Duty. Yay, get rid of Call of Duty, yay. So let's see here. Borderlands 2. Let's talk about getting a new game mode also next week, and also a new class. Did you all see the new class?
No, I'm looking at this right now.
The new class is kind of like a what are they called? The crap. I can't think of their names. Damn it. The what?
Yeah, his name's like Krieg or something like that.
Right,
Krieg.
Yeah,
he's yeah,
but it's
Psycho.
The little guys. Okay, the main guys on the first one. Remember how he was shooting his brains out, right? It's one of those kind of guys, the bandits. So, that's going to be interesting to watch. You got axes, you throw axes and things like that. It looks more of kind of like a melee class than anything.
Yeah. Except with actual melee weapons now, which is going to be interesting because they really didn't have any melee weapons, I don't think. I think it was all like guns and shit like that, you know? But now with this guy, you think of what they're going to add in, you know? They're just going to have to add in like axes and throwing axes and shit. It's going to be awesome.
Well, see, that's the thing is they're saying that this is not included in the season pass. So you're kind of fucked if you bought the season pass. Congratulations. Way to.
Well, shit, how many DLCs have they already released? Like,
way to fuck people, Gearbox. I'm just saying.
Hey.
Well, hey, when I think season pass, I'm thinking everything DLC. I'm just saying.
Season passes, if you actually look at them, they only cover shit for like a year.
Well,
for like a year, and I'm pretty sure this game's out of that now.
So, it's more melee, throwable axes, things like that. Pretty cool. They're raising the level cap up to 61. I mean, I haven't really got I played.
More grinding for your grind.
Well, that's the thing, though. I played the first one, I played through it, and it's just like, okay, I don't know what it is, man. I get a game, I play it for a while, and it's like, oh, new game over here. And it's like gamer ADD. Really bad. It's like, oh, and this game over here, and no, this game over here. So,
I am the master of gamer ADD. And
God, yes, you are. You're definitely. Dave's like, oh, look, Champions Online. Oh, look at this. We got Guild Wars. Oh, look at this. We got Terra. Oh, we got this over here.
Yeah. It's back to Champions Online, which is really saying something.
He bounces back and forth. Just about as much as me. So, anything else about Borderlands 2? Anybody? Yeah, you get nude.
Typical DLC for Borderlands.
Oh, and as we lose Adam there, I will turn my mic on and entertain you guys. Yep, we have lost Adam there. We do apologise.
Oh, here we have lost our leader. Okay, anyways.
Yeah.
When does the
user in your channel timed out?
Yeah, he just timed out. Yeah, there you go. Yep. So, right, what's on our next of agenda while I fulfill Adam's duties?
Joe put this one in, didn't he?
Yeah, Rock Band.
Rock Band. This is one for Joe here.
Joe, you're a terrible person for this.
Why did you have to do this?
Right.
No, yes we do.
Yeah, we have to cover Rock Band just for Joe.
Alright, you get a new song to add to 50,000 already. Alright, next story.
Alright, no, I'll continue it on real quick then, guys. Alright, so, anyways, American Pie, the song American Pie, and not the Weird Al version, which is kind of a good thing, is going to be the final DLC available for Rock Band. After that, no more Rock Band DLCs. And Joe is curled up in a corner.
Nah, he just has to prepare for his next Rock Band game, because that's probably what's going to happen.
I would suggest that is what's going to end up happening. Is they're going to have another. This game franchise has been way too popular to not have another version. Now, mind you, it may be coming out on the new systems, which will be then you could really ramp it up.
Oh yeah.
And then you can be doing ELO songs with the entire band, I guess. I don't know what they're going to end up doing with this thing. They're probably going to have. Yes, it is now time to have the sousaphone player play their track on this one, or the guy with the cowbell going ting.
That'd be oh my god, that'd be so annoying to play in the house at a party. Oh my god. But yeah, you guys get a new song for your final DLC song, so your game is almost dead.
Some reason that song is going around in my head. Joe, I blame you for that.
Lol.
Your fault.
So then moving on. And I haven't really looked too much on this, so you guys are going to have to push on this one.
Annie.
Yep.
This is a pack story, right?
Yeah, Penny Arcade Expo was last week. Game Developer Conference is this week.
Oh, that's right. Dang.
So we have a lot of information coming out. We're not going to be able to cover everything this week, next week, and the week after, just because of all the information coming out. So this is I better start looking at this stuff since I'm doing things until Adam gets his back in here.
See, it's a retro-inspired open-world platformer. Challenging gameplay. That's. Oh, do we have a video for this at all? This looks interesting.
Yeah, it's another indie game. It's going to be a. Find the pieces of your missing girlfriend. That's already a good start. It looks like it's going to be along the line of open world platformer. That's going to be interesting to see. I mean, what do you guys think about an open world platformer?
Open world platformer. That's. I don't know. I guess it would be like what they consider open world as far as a platformer goes. You know.
I mean, is it a never end? Basically, the only way you could say that would be a never-ending thing, or you would have a situation like I know of at least a couple of those old Sonic games, where you would go up. Okay, the platform's over here, and you got a world map, and you're going through it, and then you go, oh, okay, there's a platform over here I can go do, and
Yeah.
veer yourself over to that, or is it just I'm continuing forever and ever and ever open world platformer? So I don't know. Or does it also mean that
now this is gonna work?
Or there's a third thing, and mind you, this is an indie developer. There's only really one guy working on it at the moment. But could it be that other players could then develop tracks for this, just like Trials? So that could be rather interesting as well.
Yeah. I don't know. This will definitely have to be something that I have to give a look, because I mean, just the open world for a platformer sounds very interesting, but also because I've been getting into these kind of indie, games like this. Like actually last week, I believe it was, I bought the Runner 2 game, the Bit Trip Presents. Runner 2, and I've been playing the crap out of that game. Every chance that I can get. The soundtrack for that game is freaking phenomenal, so it's definitely starting to see a lot more quality with not only gameplay but soundtracks coming out of these indie games now, so it should be quite interesting to see how this works out.
Very interesting.
Interesting.
So what's next thing, I suppose?
Well, okay. Next is Outlast. Basically, once again,
another indie game?
Live. Yep, it is another indie game, and it looks like a zombie game that is very, very familiar. It looks a lot like Resident Evil in some ways. Can you drop down our erstwhile person that's controlling the thing? Drop down to the Game Informer video, please, and
Almighty director. And we got people directing the show now.
A little bit of a video on this, and
yeah, a little bit of a little teaser type thing. I don't know, this kind of God, what? Doesn't look so much, I guess, like action packed as it would be just kind of like a survival / like action game, I guess.
That's what I'm saying. Like Resident Evil, it looks really Resident Evil-ish. The older good ones, before.
Yeah, okay. I thought you meant like the latest one. I was like, what?
No. Like the old style that everybody loves to play and broadcast.
I mean, and I think that'll be really interesting to see, because I actually want to play this now. Looking at that zombie just tearing ass down that hallway after the guy, fucking. I mean, even playing the game, that'll get your fucking blood going. You're like, holy crap, you almost got me,
Okay, I guess your character is a reporter. I'm reading through this real quick. Your character is a reporter, and that is an asylum that you walk into. And you're trying to find out why they have reopened the facility, but when you get inside, of course, things are not what they seemed on the outside.
Oh, you know what this reminds me of? Like, just looking at, like, the dead, like, I guess, worker dudes on the ground, like the security guys, kind of reminds me of, Fear.
Yeah, yes. He does a bit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I gotta say, he did.
Okay,
like,
basically, it is similar to Amnesia, is what the article that we're reading in Game Informer has stated, where it is basically, it's going to have some jump scares, pieces, and stuff like that. It's focused on surviving and hiding versus actually fighting the creatures.
Oh, that's different.
It's more along the lines of trying to live and escape out of the building versus trying to, just fight your ass all the way through.
Yeah, so it's got like a bit of a strategy kind of to it.
Yeah.
Of when to hide, when to run.
well, those kind of games will give you a lot more tension too, because you're going to be trying like, oh God, did he see me? Did he see me? You know, you're going to get a lot of that, and that also means the mobs are going to be really tough to beat if you're going to be actually trying to pound your way through them. So you got to be really, really good at that. Pardon me, or you're going to end up, restarting the game. Best way to put it. So yeah, this looks like I said, it's very, very. It's Resident Evil without the gun play.
Yeah.
And
damn, I want to play this, bro. See, it's like.
But it's Amnesia and kind of a more survival, get your butt out of the building thing.
This is one bad thing about this time of year when all these conventions going on. I see all this cool shit. I'm like, I want to play it. It's like, no, you can't. It's like, oh. Bad panda.
All right. Next to the next one? Yep.
What?
On to the next one.
Plants vs. Zombies 2.
Here we go. Plants vs. Zombies. One of the absolute number one PopCap game, if I remember correctly.
Oh, yeah.
Is getting a sequel. And Zynga is currently trembling in their shoes because PopCap has done so awesome with this little stupid game. I mean, it was so silly looking at initially, and then now it has become such a hit. I mean, Plants vs. Zombies and Angry Birds are the two biggest little games like this out there, and having a sequel coming out in the summertime, yeah.
Oh yeah, dude. Not to mention, I mean, when it releases, it's going to release on mobile, like, everywhere.
It's a social game.
Yeah, so, I mean, it's going to be on Facebook. It says it's the Facebook version's in closed beta, apparently, on here. So, you're going to have Facebook. Plus, they're probably going to release it out like they did the original one. So, when this game comes out this summer, dude, everyone's going to be out and about. They're going to have that shit on their phone. It's gonna be done. This shit's it's gonna blow up. I don't think they're gonna know what to do with themselves. Yeah, they're like, oh my god.
Well, the thing is that you can send stuff to attack your friends. Just that.
That
send hordes to attack your friends. That'll make this game super popular. It really, really will. That's the one thing that's missing in the Angry Bird Bag Piggy genre right now, is if you're playing Bag Piggy, sending a piggy attack against somebody that's playing Angry Birds.
Yeah.
Plants vs. Zombies, that is perfect for it. It is
good. I can see this only growing even more as well, because if this one's anywhere near like it was in the other one, well, this one's going to attract even more fans.
This game is probably one of the more popular ones that I know of. Not to sound sexist, but it is one of the more popular games that I know of of co-workers of the female persuasion that I work with. So this will be, knowing that this is coming out, they're going to this game's going to be a hit right off the bat.
You look at how many people in general, like casters and like real life, people that it's like, how many of them, have you seen or heard of playing Plants vs. Zombies? Like, probably most of them.
Well, that's what I say. Between that and Angry Birds.
Yeah, those are like the two top things.
Just crazy. Crazy. Okay, moving on, and still with no Adam, which worries me.
Yeah.
We don't want to go through the.
Fun.
All right.
This game looks interesting.
It does a bit.
Okay, because I have no idea what this was until just now, so I guess I'll inform everybody on the stream let's go through. So Banished, the city building strategy game. You control a group of exiled travelers who decide to restart their lives in a new land. They have only the clothes on their backs and a cart filled with supplies from their homeland. already what that makes me think of is like old school Age of Empires.
Yeah.
And even looking at this footage, I'm just like, what?
You know what I'm mostly thinking of it? Stronghold.
Stronghold is very.
Yeah.
I get that vibe out of it as well.
I got Stronghold going on in there because it's the way you're planting those down as well.
Yeah.
I ever played Populous?
Yes.
No, I haven't.
Yes, I did. I loved Populous.
Well, if you remember Populous, it's got a little bit of that.
Yeah, basically you're trying. It's a Sim City builder. I shouldn't call it Sim City, but it's a simulation city builder in a new frontier type of situation. And then, like you say, you're building yourself up, and actually you are forced to use the actual resources that are available to you instead of just, ooh, wow, I accumulate cash. No, it's I'm cutting down the tree to build the log cabin type of situation. And that
is this set in the medieval time?
I don't know. It looks like there's some advancement because there is.
Yeah, because they definitely have an advancement tree. You can tell just through the trailer.
Yeah.
So imagine this is something similar to like when you settle. Actually, I'm saying settling settlers. Play settlers. Bit of that as well.
Yeah. This does look intriguing. It really does.
It's not me intrigued. I like these type of games.
Again, it's another indie game. There's a lot of good indie games that have shown up at PAX, and I think this is.
I like the bit
their website's not cooperating with me.
Yeah, and they're saying they're looking at a release time sometime between mid to late 2013. So actually, it's really not that far off.
I'm gonna save some money to buy some games,
Dude, right? Oh my god! Like for real, I'm gonna be broke by the end of this year.
I gotta say, this is like it looks like this is like the set that's coming in. You set up a brand new city. You're founding a new city.
Exactly. That looks intriguing. It looks intriguing. I think it's something that we're gonna. Thank you for coming back, computer. Okay. Computer decided that no, we don't want to work right now. Yeah. Okay. For those of you who do not know, for those of you who don't know, we do have a guild on Guild Wars 2.
Yep.
And
we do.
NCSoft has released, as of today, I got the email today, like 20 minutes ago, actually, for their new supplement content update called Flame and Frost, The Raising. Now, if my computer decides to work, which it is not, would somebody wish to go through what is going on while I pull it up on my phone? Because it's the only way I can get it right.
Well, what I'm reading by here, we got elimination of culling. This update does away with culling, the process by which some enemy players become invisible in large groups. Now more characters will be visible on the screen in World vs. World, even in the largest pitch battles. What do you think of that?
Oh, that's awesome. So that means they've improved their backbone, it looks like, then, for everything.
And they've also
just
improved...
lost my video, gentlemen. I will be back in a second with video.
Yeah, they've also got improved World vs. World performance. The World vs. World progression system includes a new world experience and new ranks. Players can now use the ranks to purchase new titles, abilities exclusive to the World vs. World. And take advantage of the new achievements and help track their plan and their progress. Now these last two is very interesting. The new build bounty targets, the 3 new bounty targets are on the ruin of
User disconnected from your channel.
And they're more elusive and menacing than ever. And they got new guild mission types, Smaller or casual guilds can participate in new bounty hunt training sessions
joined
to
your channel.
hone these skills for bigger challenges whilst assessing and unlocking guild content.
Wow. So they've basically fixed the issue with people disappearing in large scale battles in WVW, so you got optimization there. They got improved WVW performance with leveling and XP, ranks and all that shit. Then they've got guild bounty and guild missions. That's
I like the guild bounty and guild mission idea. That really gets.
Yeah, that's pretty sweet. That and it looks like they tailored it because it even says in the mission one, about smaller or more casual guilds can participate in the new bounty hunt training sessions to hone their skills for bigger challenges while still accessing and unlocking guild content. So that right there is definitely going to draw people in who don't play with like a massive group of people and don't want to get like a huge freaking guild going, you know what I mean? They can play with a small group of friends, have a smaller guild, and still be able to progress their guild.
Yeah, and it's also going to make it feel that, the smaller guilds useful. You're going to make them feel that they can still accomplish things, even though the servers they may be on are dominated by the larger guilds.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think this is a good thing.
Yeah, and this is their third, I believe it says their third out of 4 content updates for Guild Wars 2 so far. So, I guess we've got, one more content update before they actually release, a full-on expansion?
They're going to do a full, that would be, they're doing 4 content updates and then a full-on expansion, then 4 content updates, and then a full-on expansion. That's the pattern they want to use for this.
Yeah, that's a good pattern. I'm cool with that.
I have no troubles with that. The thing is like a lot of MMOs do monthly packs now. You usually don't get a lot with those monthly packs. You get maybe 1-2 missions, maybe a few cutesy items. Oh my god, I've got the Throne of the Emperor I can ride around in. Not to mention any other games that we would like to talk about. And that's fine. It's dandy. That's cute. You get a mission, good mission or two, or a 1 quest line or 2 quest line. I like it in bigger chunks. I really do. It's always been my thing. Is I'd rather have a lot more content over a slower amount of time, but. We'll see how it goes. I think
It's going to be
it's
interesting to see how that comes out.
Considering it's gotten some rivals here recently, with Terra Online going free to play and some of the other MMOs out there, and they lost some people too because of the whole City of Heroes fiasco. That they needed something to kind of push themselves up a little bit, and I think this is going to help them out.
Idea.
It'll make me go back for at least a little while.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's pretty good. Right, so we'll go next.
Our next one is Camelot Unchained.
Oh, do you want me to take this?
Take it to your heart's content.
I know that me and Adam are following this like a hawk. And anybody knows what Camelot is? If anybody played Dark Age of Camelot, RVR, which in my opinion are the best PvP I've ever seen. They're bringing that into the Camelot Unchained. It's a brand new game. It's a standalone game. And basically what it is, it's all PvP. There's a crafting system in there, but it's all PvP. And basically what they got you, if they're following the way the frontiers were working in the Dark Age of Camelot, then the old world has been massive. And it depends on what world they're basing it off. Still using the kingdoms that were in Camelot. That could be interesting as well. But here we go. We've got character skills, classes, magic systems, crafting, building, and such. Now building. There was player houses in Dark Age of Camelot. Now building Oh, you can actually build buildings in this. Ah. So players will be able to build the environment around them.
Yeah.
I'm wondering how much that is.
It would be cool if you can build castles and cities and villages and stuff, and then battle from them.
I think they said you can do something kind of along those lines because if they did an interview, or I believe they did a panel at PAX. They had one of the Camelot Unchained guys there, and they kind of did some, questions and stuff about it. And from what I heard, it sounded really freaking interesting. It sounds like they're gonna definitely let you do a lot in this game. Let it be player driven as far as the game environment and everything goes, which I think that's definitely gonna make it stand out from a lot of the other games out there.
Well, listen to this, for example. It's true that players' actions within a game would dictate character evolution and progression. There would be no restrictions on what weapons he uses, what armor he uses, what spells he casts. Actions would have consequences, of course. But while they are still some kind of a box zone, it just says Minecraft is, where you are limited to a number of core recipes for his items, but it or decrease based on players do within the game. So using airy weapons will increase strength. Using magic will increase achievements, etc.
Yeah. So yeah, because what they're doing is they're having it to where there is no set classes in this game. You can learn what you want, all that stuff, so you can bounce back and forth and stuff, but the drawback is if you start out just beating shit with a sword and then you switch to magic later, you've used so many points on your strength or whatever like that for your melee weapons that your magic is going to be very weak. So it's going to be one of the things to where the decisions you make in building your character are going to affect you later in the game. So you really have to plan out, like, yes, I want to do this, and you need to commit to it. So
here we go. Right, we got the last but not least is the focus on the part of our game where we can claim the strongest use of the sandbox open world mechanics RVR, because we are I can't pronounce that word, PvE. We are also simultaneously saying goodbye to the most linear of all MMORPG elements, the storyline of all the things that make the vast majority of MMORPGs feel like a theme park. It is like how designers lay out, and so they're doing away with the story elements and focusing big time on the PvP, being the RVR.
I'm back. Wonderful Comcast.
Cool, you're back just in time for Camelot Unchained.
Dude, how about that? Finally, the original people from Mythic have got enough of, hey, EA, why are you trying to make us a theme park? We're not a theme park. We saw how they did with the wonderful Warhammer. Oh, God, that was absolutely horrible. I don't know what the hell they were doing there, but good job there. That one really fucked up. Then they decided, they're not going to do this anymore. So now they're coming back with Unchained, and I'm pretty pumped with it because it's getting back to the original roots of what Camelot was all about. If anybody remembers Camelot, dude, I was a big fan of that. I played the hell out of it.
It's my favorite MMO of all.
Yeah, well, like I was saying earlier and stuff when me, Welsh, and Dave were talking about it, is they had a panel at PAX where they had a bunch of like developers and stuff. Like they had a dude from Elder Scrolls Online there. They had what was his name? I think the dude, the developer from Star Citizen, which is like the original guy who made the original Wing Commander or whatever. Yeah. He was there. They had the Dark Age of Camelot guy there. All that stuff. Like they had all these guys there. They were answering questions about every single one of the games, and basically Camelot Unchained people were like, yeah, we don't want players to feel restricted. There's no classes. You build your own character how you want. You want to go magic, you go magic, but your other stats are going to suffer for it.
Well, from what I'm reading from Bayeux, it even goes further than that. We will give the players the tools that they need to capture and control territories, to build and tear down structures, to engage lightly in half-yard battles, and to call upon the forces that can physically change the world, but in what order or manner is solely based on the players. Actions are not a predetermined story arc. While we will lay out the world topography, and we will place a limited number of key structures throughout their world, but it will be the players who will determine where the vast majority of structures are placed and how they will be arranged. You know what it reminds me of, Adam? Darkfall.
Yeah. Don't get me started on that one.
But yeah, when they were at PAX, though, they were definitely, letting everybody know that, they're developing the game, but they're giving the players the tools to basically make the content that they want.
So they're pretty much doing Eve. I mean, pretty much, to a certain extent. Hey, we give you the sandbox to play in. If you build castles wherever you want to build castles.
Yeah, you guys, here's your game. Here's your tools for building, cities, whatever you want. Have fun, go out, enjoy your wars. Like, that's pretty much what they do, and I think that's freaking awesome.
That's what they need to do. Now, I'm on the fence about this stuff because Darkfall kind of burnt me the first time. There really wasn't a lot. I'm in the beta for Darkfall, the new one, the Unholy Wars. Really can't talk much about that, so we'll see what happens with it. Now, with this, like I said, 3 factions, man, that's the main thing. We're seeing it in PlanetSide. PlanetSide works so well because you have that, hey, you're fighting this faction, and then all of a sudden you're like, oh, who the hell are these? Where the hell are these people come over from the other side? And you have some epic freaking battles there. I really want to see that come back. I really want to see gameplay like it. It's one of the first games that I can remember having chained mobs where I shot one and they all came, and I was like, what the hell is this shit? So that's really what I'm looking for. I'm looking for, like I said, it's all good in theory, but I want to see it done.
Well, all I can say is on that end of thing, I've seen Guild Wars 2's World versus World versus World. I've seen PlanetSide's World versus World, or faction. I did play Dark Age Camelot, but it was at a weird time, and when it was down. Where it didn't have very many people. So I have seen the 3 faction thing. What did they do to Rift? They added a 3rd faction. They realized that team versus team isn't working. We need to add a 3rd faction to get to keep things working. Secret World is 3 faction fight, even though they've only got 1 area and it sucks. But every game that's coming out now has learned you gotta have the 3 factions.
Yep.
That leads into something after the next meeting, but go ahead on the next. Go ahead.
Do you all think that it's like this? How people have the old nostalgia for, like, say people bring up best sandbox MMO, and they're like, oh, Star Wars Galaxy. But I remember playing Galaxies back in the day, and it was a little. It was a little boring. It was a little niche. I understand, but
a little boring.
Yeah,
no offense to our good friend Ron, who may or may not be watching in Japan at this point in time, 12 hours ahead of us or whatever he is. Star Wars Galaxies was pretty boring.
Right, but there were some epic stories there too, and it's like, also with Eve, you hear those epic stories with that stuff. You think that it's going to be like us hearing the name Camelot? Do you think that people are going to be like, ooh, Camelot? I remember all the awesome times that I had there, and then they're going to hype this thing up so big, and then whenever they get it, it's going to be like the Pebble watch, that everybody's getting now, and they're so fucking disappointed in.
I don't know, because it is the original people pretty much who did Dark Age and all that. So I think if you enjoyed what they brought to the table with Dark Age of Camelot, if you played it, then I think you can look forward to having a similar kind of experience with this game, because it seems like they they're going back, you know, because you know, just this is just me going by the interview. You know, the way the dude was talking is he wants this, you know, to be, you know, awesome like Dark Age was. You know, when you know how people used to feel when they get on there. You know, have them epic freaking moments and everything like that. But he wants to take it a little bit farther and give them kind of, I guess, more freedom in the game, so that way it just enhances their time in the game, and it just makes them want to keep playing.
Well, from what I'm reading from you with the building and stuff, now I can only imagine having the ability to build the castles and stuff in Dark Age Camelot. Adam, can you imagine that?
Yeah, I mean, I can imagine it, but the problem is putting in use it. I mean,
and then I could see the situation also, though, for Age of Conan, who promised the same kind of crap, and what ended up happening. Oh, yeah, you need 200,000 logs to put up one section of wall. That's what you got to worry about, that they'll do something completely overboard like that, which is what killed Age of Conan quite a bit, to be honest with you. And the other thing you got to worry about is, it's the original developers. That's great and dandy. Yeah, the original developers of EverQuest also did Vanguard. That wasn't that much of an improvement, in my opinion. So you've got to watch out for those things, too. I'm hoping they do well. I like the concept that they've developed here. I like the idea that they've put out. It would be great to be able to do an MMO without go kill 10 giant rats and go bring me back their flippin' tails. I'm tired. I'm getting tired of that kind of that run around doing FedEx quests. Take this letter across over here. I don't, if I don't have to do questing, but I can go out and kill mobs and harvest them. I killed a deer. Okay, now I can strip it down. I can do this. Like how we had with Zion there for a while.
Yeah. Well, Dark Age kind of like that.
And build it up, but we actually have the one thing I could prove, I could attest to, is that the game mechanics are not going to be this choppy, flawed thing that I saw in other games. It's going to be smooth. They are going to be worthwhile mechanics. I will grant them that. That will be a good thing for them. I just don't want... I'm afraid it's going to be... There's got to be some motivation to go out and attack the other guys, too.
Yeah. Okay, I'm pretty sure we could all sit here and talk about this all day, but we're still talking about this one story for so long.
I know me and Adam would.
Well, let's go on to another time killer. How about that?
Let's just burn this one out of the way. Just burn this one out of the way. Let's quickly burn it.
I didn't even know there was a RuneScape 2.
Okay, see? Joe brought this up earlier, and I refrained myself from saying anything. Alright, the thing is technically there wasn't a RuneScape 2. If you remember back when they overhauled the system, their combat system and everything, that counted as RuneScape 2. So RuneScape 3 is not another game. What it is
another
an update to their... Yeah, it's basically another overhaul. And what I was just looking at is this... They're not changing any of the core game mechanics or whatever. This one is basically just going to be client and engine improvements. What that means...
Improve the graphics.
Yeah, I mean, we can only hope. I mean, that's really one thing that was just like, oh my god, really? I don't want to play this crap.
Did anybody play RuneScape much?
I played a little bit of it, just dabbled around. I wasn't a fan of the movement and everything, and I definitely wasn't a fan of the graphics. That's what's turned me off.
I played 2 days.
Like I said, I had my big boy pants on. I was already paying for an MMO that was way better than this crap. I don't even know what I was playing at the time, but it was just like everything I kept hearing. It was like all these like. My one of my best friends' little brothers played the crap out of it. Like, oh, you ever heard of RuneScape? And I'm like, yeah, I've seen it. It's crappy. It's in browser engine. Yeah. Oh, we spent hours and hours and hours. I'm like, dude, okay, that's cool. Whatever. And then looked at it again, and it's like, it's one of those things where you hear about how crappy something is, and you have to go try it, and it's really crappy, and you're like, yeah, I don't understand.
Yeah. I played it 2 days. And it's going to look better. The colors that was pretty much the end of it. I never played it again. It's not
Yeah, I tried
There's
it.
so many other things
Yeah,
out there
they're,
that just beat the snot out of it.
It says with the client and engine improvements, they're also progressing the quest and story content. Studio's also adding in a new audio suite, an orchestrated score, and a fully customizable interface and set of camera controls. So they're adding, it looks like they're adding a little bit more tools in there for players, but I mean, even still,
yeah, it's like
I think that is a very, I mean, other than the client and engine optimizations, which is good for any game, everything else except for like the story and quest progression is pretty much niche to a very select player base who actually messes around with the camera controls and all that crap, you know. So
the thing is, they're making it more friendly to be streamed.
Yeah.
That's really what it is. I think that's what they're trying to do. I think they're putting in these improvements so the game will be streamed more on places like Twitch. That's just the kind of way I look at it. There are a lot of players that are still playing this game. I mean, the place you log into the dumb thing, and it's still crowded. I mean, there's still people all over.
All these people who do not want to pay for a real freaking game. And
trust me, there's enough stuff out there now that's free that they can't get away with that anymore. Terra, Terra and you know, all sorts of other games.
Dude, I could sit here for days and name you free-to-play games. I'm just saying, so let's not even get started on that.
I mean, it's just...
yeah, it's all crappy. So let's move on from this crap, and let's go on to, this has got to be a Dave story.
Yeah, how did you guess that?
I knew it. So Dave, go ahead and take this one over.
We just were talking about adding a third faction into games and how that other games have figured out that PvP is so much more fun when you have a third faction. Well, this one was a little bit of a surprise. Perfect World International, which we all have heard of, and Cryptic Studios are adding the Romulan faction into Star Trek
Question,
Online.
Playable race?
Yes.
Okay, I might have to get it then. I mean, that's what I'm saying. I was tired of the fucking fleet and the Klingons, dude. I was like, I want to be a Borg.
That's what I mean. This is the first big. This is going to be. I think it's a pay expansion. I think this is the biggest thing. Comes out on May 21st. The Legacy of Romulus. And it's free to players. It's going to be free to players. And everything I see, if you look at the second, I think it's the second screenshot or third screenshot. I don't remember. 1, 2, 3, 4th screenshot. If our illustrious producer gets down to it.
Let Palm no hands.
Yeah, really.
Oh yeah, the race and class thing.
Right. Choose your race and class. Yes. Playable faction Romulans. I know so many people are going to get back to this game just because of this.
Oh yeah, dude, Romulans got fucking ballin' ass ships, dude.
I don't even know.
I don't know. Dude, just look at the screenshots above that. Like, there's 2 screenshots right there between the 1st and 4th, man, that shows off their
I don't know who the
their
Romulans are. Dave was... When Dave went to...
So, who thinks in the community that we should tie Adam to his chair and make him watch every entire episode of Star Trek so that he knows what we're on about?
Like, I didn't even know half the stuff until... I didn't know what a flippin' trouble was.
We will do that, but we have to make sure that when we do that, we're going to put April Herbert on one side of him and Mary Zinaritsky on the other side of him to do it, which of course is DVD Geeks.
Okay, hang on. Adam said he didn't know what a Romulan was. How could you not know? Even like
And,
if
and I'm sorry.
I know what a Romulan is. I know what ramen noodles is. How about
even if you've seen the newest Star Trek movie, you know what a fucking Romulan is.
What is that? Like
this is the
group?
highlight of it. Is Adam was during the time that Star Trek was a big hype on TV.
Listen, what? Dude, I was Star Wars.
Yeah, well, it was at the same time, so...
You didn't mix
Alright,
the two.
but anyways, the point is that this game has just got its third faction and now let's see how well it does with the PvP. I am so glad to see this.
Because this definitely is going to bring new life into the game. You know, especially because it's free to play. You know, when you have stuff like this, a whole new race brings in new ships, new story, you know, just new content all around. And that's what people want. I mean, that's really one thing that bummed me out, other than the shitty ground combat, which you have to be forced to do in the tutorial.
They've redone it. Not quite as shitty. Still got
it's still pretty shitty. If you're forced to do it, like, just let me skip the tutorial and get to my ship.
My favorite part is when Dave goes, I mean, it's not as shitty.
It's not as
shitty. So I mean, you're gonna have
however, I'll
put
tell you
force
this
in
much,
the hitman and nuts with a hammer.
Space combat game out there.
Yeah,
Pure space combat.
Yeah, I mean, when you get this much content and stuff like that, it's definitely gonna draw more players in.
I just don't like the fact of, okay, I'll give it's way better than fucking Eve shit. And I know a lot of Eve players out there are going to be like, you're a dick. But whatever. Like, but I just don't like the fact of, oh, look, oh, we're shooting at each other and it's spinning around each other. And oh, you shot me, now I shoot you. And you, like, I don't know, man. I'm more of a fast-paced dogfighting player, I guess. I don't know. I don't like
This is the Star Wars. The best way to put this is Star Wars space combat is dogfighting.
Yeah.
Star Trek space combat
is strategy.
Ships.
Yeah,
it's naval ships is the way it works. But there are smaller ships. You do get the aircraft carriers, so there is still dogfighting involved too.
Yeah,
but it's more hybrid. Eve is the ponderous ships beating the shit out of one another, you know, kind of thing. In perception, I mean, yeah, it is fast still, but it's still big ship versus big ship. It's the bigger the bleeding ship you got in Eve, the better off you are.
Yeah.
Of course, that's when you lose 4 million credits worth of ship when your ship goes.
Yeah.
That's why you get those stories like, "Oh my God, he lost $4,000." Well, yeah, but
alrighty,
not really.
Let's I think that yes.
Now a game that we all are looking forward to.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Even Dave is enjoying it.
First thing right off the bat, I was gonna say, get into Defiance beta. Have the game, bought the game. Really looking forward to it. All right, let's move on. Next one. No, I'm playing.
Yeah.
Dude, let's take a little bit of third-person shooter, not first-person shooter. You can kind of, if you aim in and zoom in, it's kind of, you know, down your scopes. And it is not one of those games where it's like, oh, I tabbed onto you and now I'm shooting you, kind of thing. It's tabula rasa it's tabula rasa done right, I guess you could say. Cause it's exactly what I thought of when I first, played around with it. I was like, dude, this is tabula rasa, the right version, not the crappy version. And I love you, Richard Garriott, but my God, I know NCSoft screwed you, but Jesus, that game sucked. But it's just I love this game. I love that you can, it's no bullshit. Hey, you instantly get a vehicle, you go. There's art falls, which are ridiculous, which we had Ron sitting there, Ron's not really one of those people who yell about a game like, oh my God, this is freaking awesome. Ron was sitting there yelling and going, oh my God, this is freaking awesome. Dude, me, Mosh, Stu, Cosmic, did you get to play in it?
Yeah.
Any?
Yeah.
So,
I've played in the beta
I'm
weekends.
the one who
It's the beta weekends were freaking spectacular.
So I bought it.
And this is the TV show trailer.
Yeah.
Yeah. 40 minutes.
Yeah. This is basically the 14 minutes they released, basically, so you get like a sneak peek of the first 14 minutes of the first pilot show. So if you want to, we're not going to do it all, of course, because yeah, that's just bad.
What do you think?
Yeah, just what we need is a DCMA.
Do we think that so this is a MMO that's not built around a TV series. This is not a TV series built around an MMO. It's built around both at the same time. And one is in San Francisco, which is the game, and the other one is in St. Louis, which is the TV series.
Show.
Right. So speculation. Let's just go ahead and say, hey, one does well, the other one does crappy. What do they do? I mean, TV show does crappy. The TV show looks really good. I was expecting some sci-fi shittiness.
Yeah.
No offense, I really did. I thought it was going to look like crap. I thought it was going to be like Hammerhead, Shark Frenzy, garbage.
They're putting enough resources behind this baby. It's Battlestar Galactica again.
Yeah,
I mean, they're going to put the resources behind this baby to keep it going for at least a little while. We'll see what the ratings do.
The link I put in the chat is anybody who wanted to go watch the 14 minutes after we get done here today. Definitely go check it out. You definitely get to see what kind of quality they're putting in with. Because you've seen from the trailers and stuff like that, and with this type of show or, game or whatever, you have different races. So you get to see a little bit of that as far as the costume design goes and all that, and as well as the sets and all that stuff. So it's pretty interesting, and, it'll definitely hook you in. Just definitely go check it out after
Definitely will. This game is, I gotta say, it's addictive. It'll keep you playing.
Now here's the question I've got, because I'm the loner here. I haven't done a lot of stuff, so I'll play the noob asking questions. In this game, are you all on the same side, or are you on multiple factions?
Well, it kind of comes down to you're all kind of on the same side to a certain extent, but until it comes to the Shadow War. The Shadow War is where your PvP is at, and also your what is the other one, Mosh? It's your
it's
competitive.
Competitive.
PvP.
Okay, so
that's the ranked one.
In essence, I'm going to have to bring you to the comparison of the MMO I know. In essence, you're in the same kind of situation with you are with Secret World, where all three factions are trying to kind of save the world, but you're trying to backstab to be the man on top when it's all said and done.
Correct. To a certain extent. It's 64 versus 64 in the Shadow world. Correct, Mosh? Have you been in Shadow World yet?
Yep.
Shadow Wars? Yeah.
The Shadow War.
Shadow Wars.
All it is where you are. What it does, it phases you out and puts you in the same copy of the world as the PvE world. Just that you can still see people around you doing quests, but they won't be flagged for PvP. You will.
What it is where the ranked stuff is like instanced, like it would be like war zones and like battlegrounds and shit like that, depending on what MMOs you played. Whereas the Shadow Wars are basically out in the open world. So you queue for it, right? It throws you in. It instantly puts you into like a different kind of gear and flags you for PvP. Right? You can still interact with the PvE mobs, they can still aggro onto you and stuff. It's just only people who are flagged PvP for that Shadow War can kill you. Other players who are out, PvP questing who stroll by, they can't kill you. But yet, if they're on an ATV, they just stroll through your battle zone or whatever, they can see you guys fighting.
Okay.
It's really, really awesome and
so
really good
concept. Is it not down to 64-64?
Shadow Wars? I think it's like 64v64, something like that.
Yeah, I think it is.
So
high number.
Why wouldn't they just do like open? Hey, look, here you go. You get a PvP, and you're flagged for PvP. and you're in that. I mean, why don't they do just a separate phase? You know what I mean?
The problem would be is that the way they got the Shadow War objective areas is that it overlaps with the questing. But it depends on, they're thinking, well, the PvEers who don't want a PvP, well, they'd be phased into their own. You can still see them.
So I'm definitely excited for that one. We got a couple more minutes. Let's go ahead and jump into Neverwinter. Who got into that this weekend? Were you allowed to talk about that? Yeah, it's India.
It was a beta weekend, wasn't it?
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
It was me and Cosby played it, didn't it?
Yeah, we were plugging around. We made some little sorcerer dudes or chicks, I should say, and went through some of the starting content, and actually found out a lot of cool shit about it.
I actually it slowly won me over. I'm gonna say it started off. I was worried because I thought I'm already doing a Dungeons and Dragons online thing again. You know what I mean? I thought this was gonna come in and start ruining the old Dungeons and Dragons theme.
Right.
And it was Neverwinter. I can remember Neverwinter Nights, and I'm thinking, right, this is gonna be a disaster. But then this slowly got into it. And then I realized, hang on, there's elements to this I liked. And there is a story to it. It's not open world, by the way, guys. But, I like there's a bit of terror in it as well, with the combat system.
Yeah. Anybody who's been a fan of the kind of like real-time action combat system, like that have been in Vindictus, Raider Z, Terra, stuff like that, they have that system in here, and it works incredibly well. Because anyone who's played Terra or like Raider Z, you've seen like their dodge system in there is very clunky. You dodge and you gotta wait like anywhere between a second to a half a second before your guy actually dodges. Whereas in this game, it is seamless. You dodge, boom, you dodge.
It's kind of like Guild Wars 2.
Yeah. Okay. Exactly. It is that streamlined and seamless with the dodging. It's very responsive. The combat feels nice, and like what Mosh was saying, is it's not really open world. Like a lot of the areas you got to go to quests. You have to go down into like a sewer or some shit like that. So you have to go through a little loading screen, but it's quick. It's actually a really fast loading screen. And something we found out is they have user-generated content.
And that's where I was about ready to ask about.
Yeah, we got off. We did basically a quest in the main city, and we moved off to basically the next little area. And there was a little kind of board, billboard thing there. And we went and looked at it, and it was player-created missions. Now, it being a beta weekend, I wasn't expecting much there, but there was tons of user-created missions, like. It was ridiculous. So
it's kind of like Neverwinter. Whenever the old Neverwinter is,
the original Neverwinter.
Yeah, you remember the what do you call it? The
I can't remember.
They have some pretty cool missions in that. The original Neverwinter, we set up because it wasn't really an MMO. But you could land into it. I know of at least 2 conventions that. Or one of our people that hangs out in social chat, Eric, made adventures for our local game convention and hooked them up for, got 5 people missions to play that in the Neverwinter game at this gaming convention, which was pretty awesome that he was able to pull that off. And he'd actually sit in there as game master and drop mobs on them and do all sorts of things as they were going through. I hope they have that kind of mode in there.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah. I doubt it, but I really hope that kind of mode's back in there, because I would.
You wouldn't want me as a dungeon master. I'd be a douche and just drop all kinds of things on you. And you go through the doorway, and here's a bunch of demons and like 50 freaking demons coming.
But the thing is that if they had that kind of mode, if you set it up to be that kind of mode, there would be a really high temptation for me to design scenarios and run LagSpike people through them, and you guys would all be able to laugh at them as they're playing through them. But that kind of thing would be awesome. But I doubt that it's going to be involved in this. But
I haven't seen it yet. I haven't played it long enough to tell. But I tell you one thing I do know that you will like, Dave, with this, is when you do the character creation, you can select your origins. And I was quite surprised that they had Baldur's Gate as an option.
Well, Neverwinter is a Forgotten Realm was put into the Forgotten Realms, which would mean that that those people that are fans of Forgotten Realms that can't stand Dungeons & Dragons Online because it's the wrong game world, hi, I'm one of those, would be a lot more apt to play this.
Yeah.
Just because of the fact it would be the same, it's the game world that we love, which is Forgotten Realms.
Yeah, and the way that you also, when you create a character, the only, I could probably mention the classes, you got the Control Wizard. I imagine there's more coming because in their Winter Nights there was tons. I'm not surprised. I'm quite surprised there's no Necromancer in this, but
well, they may not have it in yet. It is only a beta. Or maybe in an expansion. There's so many different options that they could be using. Is it based on 4th? I'm assuming it is 4th edition paper and pencil.
Yeah.
Or not? Or do you know?
Well, I'm not too sure, but I know from the character customization that you can select your character's origins. Like I selected mine. I think I went on my first card was a Control Wizard. I started off in Neverwinter. My origins. But then you add the origins, and then you add what kind of person you was. Like, was you somebody in the military in Neverwinter? I think the other one was like a law keeper or some kind of thing. And and each origin you had drop boxes telling you which origins within the origins you had. So this is all I gotta say. If you like role playing, this is a wet dream for them.
That'll be good. I'm interested in seeing it.
And if we have time, I have another little story. If we got time to add one in real quick, that I think deserves some limelight because these people are fucking fantastic developers. Throw it into the Google.
Into the Googles.
Into the Googles we go here, guys.
Yes, Googles we have. Yes. That's
5-volt.
Plus Google we must. Yes.
Yes. Oh shit! My fault. My fault.
Messed up.
Hold up. Little bit of on-air failure here, guys.
Yeah, not like we've had any of that today or anything.
Yeah. Thank you,
All
Comcast.
There's the YouTube link. There's the proper YouTube link for their little dev video for it. Basically, what it is Firefall is done it again and completely overhauled their entire progression system and pretty much their game.
Isn't this again?
Yes, this is the second time.
Yeah, I was going to say every 3 months they tend to do this.
Isn't it a little out of hand though? Like, hey, this is our game. This is our game.
Well, no, I mean, this I find incredibly awesome. That they have the dedication and like they're wanting to try new things and find something that feels right for the game. And they've definitely done a lot with this update. For one, because like in the first overhaul that they did, which was the last huge update, they put in a tier system, like a tier tree system of going through and getting your battle frames. Well, they've taken that out now, right? And they've so they've got it to where like I think it's
many of which are still in
God, I really haven't played around with it, but it's completely different. Like they took out the skill tree type thing, and it goes back off your like XP stuff, and you kind of like craft shit. And I think for every like 5 or 10 like items you get or craft for your gear or for your battle frame, you get like something special for it. But it's a lot more customizable with your battle frame and everything like that.
progression experience from
as well as
allowing us to go much deeper with progression.
they've added a tutorial thing into the game. So whereas before, when you join the game, you make your character and you decide, yeah, I want to be assault or I want to be engineer or whatever, and then that was kind of like the one you focused on with your skill tree from the last update. Well, with this one, you go through this tutorial and they walk you through, of course, basic movements, crouching, the jetpacks, and then they go into the battle frames and they let you test out each battle frame and its abilities in there as a kind of tutorial, and you can see which one you like before you actually go out and you use it.
Read the patch notes.
So whenever you use the tutorial, whenever you get the, you're like, oh yeah, like for me, for instance, I played engineer like a lot, and I went through and I was like, I want to try biotech. So I went through, tried the new tutorial, which was pretty awesome. They definitely put a lot of thought into it. Tried biotech, was like, yeah, I'm gonna try this. So before I left, I made sure I had my biotech frame on and jumped on the thing and was like, went out and I'm freaking biotech now.
Not too bad.
Yeah, the patch notes for this thing are freaking huge. Like, I don't have an actual link to the patch notes because it's in their beta thing, but they've done everything as far as battle frame optimizations, down to weapon scaling, down to mob scaling, adding little things to the chosen guys, they're gonna work better as squads or something like that. They're gonna invade areas more strategically and tactically like a military unit now. So they definitely improved the game. So I suggest anybody who has gotten the beta, who hasn't played it for a while, definitely patch up and check it out, because these dudes have got an awesome fucking game going on right now.
I'll definitely have to check it out a little bit more. It was one of those games where I kind of jumped in and I was like, oh, this is really cool. Then it lasted for 2 days again. So, my main one right now is MMO-wise, is going to be Defiance for a little bit, and we'll see how that goes.
Yeah.
So,
I'm planning to say too.
Yeah, I'm playing Aside 2. That's it.
Which reminds me, actually, there is news on Planet Side 2. They've released new rocket launchers.
Yeah, which is... I don't know about that, man. It's okay, that's cool that they release rocket launchers for these factions, but the bad thing is with the different... this is a new weapon. Okay, that's cool. I understand you're trying to give us a little bit of the time to keep us going to wait for new content, but we want a new content. We want a in-game. That's what we want. I want an in-game, and it's got to come soon. It's really soon.
Well, come to think about it, we are due for the roadmap update, which is bringing in the lockdown content, and we are getting. Let me put it up.
So, all right. Well, we're at the 2-hour mark. We're over that a little bit, so I think we're gonna wrap it up with we'll throw that in the room, Mosh, and let people check that out. But by the way, we're back. We're gonna be doing this show every Tuesday night, 7 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. So, like I said, this upcoming couple of weeks is going to be a little crazy on the LagSpike site, seeing what's going on with it. I know we got a lot of updates. It's been a long time coming that we get all this stuff back up and running again. So, yes, and next week, Tuesday, Defiance launches. So, I definitely think that you'll be seeing me play that later on in the evenings. Let's go ahead and let's throw it to you guys. Anything you want to say, Cosmic, about...
Smite. Definitely.
Check it out.
People need to hit me up if they play that shit, or if they're interested in play it. I'll give you a referral link, and we'll be off. We got a Smite team on there with me and Solar Wolf, if you know him, and a couple of our friends that we know and known for years. So we're getting a little team. Call it High School Smite team. Kicking ass.
Have you played against with the Wolfbane guy?
No.
Have y'all played with him yet?
The Loki Madness guy?
Yeah, dude, he's
Yeah, I've
always
seen his
casting.
cast. Yeah, I've
He's
yet to play
always
with
casting.
him, but
Definitely, you all should definitely team up with that guy. He
yeah.
is
And anyone,
crazy.
quick update, real quick with that. Anyone who has or does play Smite and is interested in the raw Alienware skin, which is this awesome ass blue fucking skin for raw. Go to Alienware Arena /giveaway and look for the Smite exclusive Alienware raw skin key giveaway. They've got like 7,800 keys up right now. Get them before they're gone. That's all I'm saying. Them things go quick. This is like the 4th batch they put out, so.
We'll throw it over to Dave. Dave, anything you want to say before we head out?
Real quick, we do have a LagSpike guild over on Guild Wars 2. We have a LagSpike guild now on Champions Online. We also have our Steam group for LagSpike that we need to start working on, and we've got other groups. Check out our forums. They're going to be worked on, so be patient as they start changing look. But we've got a lot of things going on, and now we've got correspondence all over the place that we can use for different shows and events. So we're going to be really pushing that as well, guys. So we're coming back. We're going to come back. We're coming back with a vengeance.
Real quick on that note. Stay tuned. Possible Arma 2/3 stuff happening.
/2/3.
Yeah, Arma 2, /Arma 3 stuff happening, Still trying to iron out some details with some people. So
that'll be
we may have some shit going down. So
Mosh, anything you got to say?
Yes. Defiance, if you want to hit me up, I'm going to post a link right now.
That wasn't right now.
There you go. That's the guild I'm in for Defiance. You want to hit me up, guys? Go there. And they're recruiting. They're a casual type guild, guys, so you're welcome. But for Planet Side 2, well, all these guys know where we are.
Yo.
From the wonderful Devil Dogs with the we'll definitely have links here soon.
And there you go.
That'll work. And also, we're going to have these stream showing times here soon. I'm a little lost on that, Stu. You might have to...
The Devil Dogs.
The Devil Dogs.
They're doing streamcasts.
Streams.
Yeah, their streaming schedule for the Devil Dogs.
Well, shit.
Mr. Stu, our wonderful director for today, is going to be getting those up on here pretty soon, I believe. So.
Hell yeah, well, that'll work soon. We'll have all that on the website also. And I think Stu, you got anything you want to throw out there? Any unliking that you want to do?
Yep, I've turned my mic on the stream so you guys can hear me as I sound congested and ill. We've got a couple things coming on the way of the site. You may know the show's page is back up, however you cannot currently view any episodes. This is because it's still being worked on. Like Dave earlier also said, the forums are also being worked on. I know this has been left for about a year now. I've been focusing mainly on our API as a public service, so this is why that's been held off. I know many people would like it to be integrated as the entire site, so it's easier to navigate and you don't have to worry about anything. That is coming, so don't worry about that. A couple other things coming on the way we've got that I really cannot talk about is possible new shows.
Yes, a lot of those.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so we're talking with a couple people for new shows. Obviously,
if you have an idea for a show that you would like to be a show or be a part of our show and actually be up here, underneath Adam, not phrase it that way. Let us know. because I mean we're always looking for more people to help and do more shows and more content, man.
And definitely show you the way that if you got an idea for a show and you need help learning how to use that software to be able to use OBS and things like that, how to do shows and the setup of things like that, we can definitely help you out with that. I'm going to be around a lot more in the evenings. That's going to be a definite. So
So everyone, please sign up to our site. Drop by the forums if you've got questions. We're watching them every day, so in time we will get back to you with a good response. Broadcasting questions, well, we've got our infamous Joe Numbers for that, who should be sitting in the chat waving about. As we all know, he loves to do with broadcasting. Technical notes, shows, well, that's generally all of us. So
yeah, and then any just generalized direct questions for, I guess, any of us as far as interest in games or opinions on games. I'm pretty sure you can find us easily on our Twitters.
Yep.
So yeah.
The other thing is, a couple of people have asked me about sponsorships. Now, sponsorships we don't do purely because we don't have money ourselves. So sponsorships are currently a no, because we're actually looking for money ourselves.
What you talking about, bro? I got money in my wallet.
Now, partnership, this is something we're currently working on, which means if you do shows or podcasts, you'll be able to highlight your shows onto our website from a unique service, which at this time shall not be disclosed. Yeah, but anyway, that's it. I'm going to play this short promo video, which will remind you of the show times, and then we'll be leaving on that note.
Alright, so guys, we're back. We'll be doing this, like I said, every Tuesday night, 7 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. If me around next week, we'll see. Week after that, we'll see also with that one. So you might have a couple show hosts that isn't me. So, yeah, we'll see you here in the next week. So I'm Adam. The rest of the guys here, say goodbye.
Peace.
Bye-bye.
Ta-ra.
And Welsh disappeared as always.
Well, say bye, dick.
Say bye. All right, we're out of here. We'll see you next week. Later on.